welcome back to the stream. Hope you guys are doing well. Hi Martin, hi Otto. Yes, we are spring. It is the spring background for spring vibes. I figured I could change it depending on the season and stuff like that. And also, it is not a scary mystery, no, actually. It's more of a puzzle. Mystery puzzle that doesn't have anything to do with anything scary, so yes. Hi Lisa, hi Destiny, welcome back to the stream. Yes, I have a mustache. I am detective today. Yes, I have it on. Well, I mean, it's on the it's not really a surprise because it's on the thumbnail. But yeah, so we are gonna play the Roottrees Are Dead. So it's more of like we're gonna try to figure out the family tree of the Roottrees. It's a big family and a prestigious one, I guess. And we get to see who's who, what's what. I did play this before, so I kind of know how things will go, but I will not spoil for people who do not know. And for people who do know, no spoilers either. But I will allow if people want to maybe suggest what to search or what to look into next. So this one will be a bit different. So I will allow a little bit of that. But yeah, let's have fun and solve the thing. Okay, give me a second. If you guys are hungry, feel free to sit back, relax, and have some snacks. And let me launch the game. Also, I totally understand if like some people would want to like click away because they want to solve it themselves. That's how I felt about this game, because I actually was like, oh, what's this? I was watching like Gab Schmolders or Evelyn start to play this, and I was like, oh no, I want to solve it myself. So I did, and then I watched her play it. So yeah. So there, new game. So there's actually two parts to this game. I already played both, but the one we're gonna focus on today is the Roottrees Are Dead. The mystery begins here. So this is like I think both can be. This one's already kind of self-contained in itself. Roottrees Mania kind of expands on it more after the events of the Roottrees Are Dead. So we're just gonna focus on this first part, and then we'll see if people want to see the next part. The reason is because when I played the Roottrees Are Dead, I could solve the whole thing on my own, but Roottrees Mania requires a lot more leaps in logic. So I did have to look up some things in Roottrees Mania. So yeah, let's start. Oh yeah, these are my save slots. Let's use this one. The Roottrees are loading. Also, it's like it takes place in the 90s or something, so some of this stuff is pretty familiar. I think I'm covering this loading. Like, oh hi Haru, welcome back to the stream. I think you're doing well. Yes, you're back to member. Thanks to Dragon last night. Hope you're doing well. The Roottrees are loading. Excuse me. December 6, 1998.
The plane that crashed last night just outside of Pittsburgh is now known to have been the private jet of the Roottrees Corporation. Local aviation authorities have speculated, based on the pilot's final communication, that the winter storm and heavy winds played a significant role in the crash. On board were multiple family members, including corporate president Carl Roottrees and his daughters, the Roottrees sisters, best known for their fashion lines and modeling careers. There were no survivors.
R.I.P.
Again, for those of you just joining us, the Roottrees are dead.
Dun dun! Yay, I mean, oh no! Oh. Hello.
I know it's late, but I'm guessing you've seen the news. In addition to dealing with the grief, the Roottrees company's lawyers are scrambling.
Oh.
Everything is about to change. Anyone proven to be a blood relative is about to get much richer. I'm here to ensure everyone is accounted for.
So, we gotta figure out who are blood relatives.
I've heard you're an expert at sorting out complicated family trees. A genealogy genie, as it were. I'm going to give you a quick test. Pass, and I can promise you the job of a lifetime.
Ooh! Do we get our bonus? Okay, so this is like our introduction, I guess. The tutorial. Complete the family tree of the Roottrees sisters. Siblings are in birth order, oldest to youngest. To-do list. Examine my evidence, search the internet for clues, fill in the names, fill in the occupations, and fill in the... sleuth! Fill in the photos. Okay. So, we're gonna search about the Roottrees sisters. So, this is like our bulletin board thing. Yes, sleuth. Hi, cool. Welcome back to your stream. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. So, there were 3 sisters. We need to figure out who's the oldest, the middle one, and the youngest. And we gotta find name, occupation, photo, and also the spouse. Okay, so let's look at evidence. This is our evidence tab. Oh, got milk picture. The person who hired you gave you this photo with a note attached. This was taken during the shoot for the Roottrees sisters' Got Milk ad. I've tracked down a test photo from before they painted the fake mustaches on, which I thought would be more appropriate considering the circumstances. The ad's copy reads, "You might recognize our faces from the magazine you're reading, or you might recognize our name from the candy bar you're eating. Being a Roottrees is a full-time job, but so is growing up. That's why the calcium found in milk is so important. Plus, you can't make chocolate without it." Okay. So, when we get photos like this, we can take pictures of the faces and then we can use that as reference for our family tree. Sluice? No, not the sluice gates again. But yeah, okay. This list was provided to you by the mysterious person who showed up at your door. You'll need it to fill in the family tree. So these are all the women and men, that the names that we get to choose from. Okay. The internet! Ah, the dial-up sounds! Takes me back. Alright. I think spider search is our Google. So let's try searching the Roottrees sisters. There are a lot of obituaries that focus on the Roottrees sisters' modeling careers. You also come across an unofficial Roottrees fan site seemingly curated by a teenager. It's neon pink with purple text and hard to read until you highlight the words. The young webmaster writes, Reina is the most famous because she's the oldest and got married to TMS. So Reina is the oldest. Ah, Elise, thank you so much for the super. Thank you.
With mustache is so cute.
I'm glad you like the mustache. Okay, wait. Reina. Reina's the oldest. Okay. She's married to TMS, but we don't know who that is yet. Maybe we could search that next. Riley is the smart one. Rose is a middle child like me. So Rose is middle. There's no Rose? So I think she might have a different birth name. Riley. Okay. Riley's the youngest. You might think that they are rich just because they're models, but their dad is also the president of the candy company and their mom, Brenda, is a fashion designer. They do the modeling for her brand, Root. I eat Roottrees candy all the time. My favorite are maple crisps. And try to dress in plaid Root clothes like Riley does in most of the posters. Riley wears plaid? Let's check the picture again. So this one's Riley. Oh no, the youngest is Riley, so her. That's Riley. Someday I want to get my ears pierced like Rose. Ears pierced. So we can probably assume she's the middle child. So this one should be Reina. If they're all modeling, maybe they're all models? So there's all sorts of occupations here. We can filter them out. Model. We can get model. There we go. And okay. The website's author continues to talk about her own life and what she likes about Root fashion lines, but none of it is relevant. Okay, so let's search TMS. So when we highlight it, we can copy it or spider search it right away. TMS is a common abbreviation for early 90s teen heartthrob Tommy Mark Sheridan. His first credited role as Thomas Sheridan was on a soap opera called The Time Marches Onward. He skyrocketed to popularity after his starring role on the sitcom Brother Trouble. Since the end of Brother Trouble, he has often been on the cover of tabloids for supposed drug use and more recently his relationship with Raina Roottrees. After a short engagement, they married in 1997 when she was only 19 and he was 23. Damn! They move fast. Okay, Thomas Sheridan. So that's him. We just need to figure out the name of the middle child. Her name is supposed to be Rose? Rose Roottrees is not as popular as her older sister Raina, but still very well known. Most of the time they're lumped together as the Roottrees sisters. Unfortunately, the results for Rose by herself don't lead to anything different than when searching for the sisters together. Can't find what you're looking for? If someone isn't in the list of names that your employer provided, doing a deeper dive on what you learn about them will often lead to additional discoveries. A good research tip is to make note of any brand names, books, product lines, or magazines that you don't recognize and search for them. These searches will sometimes help directly. Even when they don't, you'll usually get additional context. Okay, so let's go back. Back to the first thing we saw. Maybe we can search Root. Root, the period is part of the name, is a clothing company. They make clothes for children from toddlers to teenagers. Although their website is down, likely due to increased web traffic, you find countless retail sites attempting to advertise their clothes toward the target audience. One of them has this to say: "You've spied the Roottrees sisters looking hella fly on catalogs, magazines, and posters. Now you too can be like Riley, Rose, or Raina." He also came across a website from a collector of clothing catalogs. Apparently, Root has released 2 catalogs per year every year since 1984, and Raina appeared on almost all of them. There's only one that the webmaster considers a collector's item enough to mention. It seems that Brenda Roottrees, the Roottrees sisters' mother and Root's head designer, appeared on one cover holding her daughter Rose in 1985. The site says this is the only time her daughter was ever listed with her birth name, Carly Roottrees. Got it. Hi Gil, welcome back to the stream. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yes, welcome to Wrench Gang. Yay! Alright. Hi Calix, welcome back to the stream. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Well done. These 3 entries are correct and have been locked in. Yay! You've also locked in the following optional entry: Sheridan Thomas. Booyah! Okay. So basically this is how this is gonna go.
Sorry to test you, but I had to be sure you could use the internet. Some folks refuse to get with the times. Safe to say, you're hired.
Let's go!
The reward for untangling the family tree is substantial. Life-changing, even. But here's the catch. The Roottrees go way, way back. The family tree's a bit daunting. Most people freak out the first time they see the whole thing. But I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yes, Shady Lady is funny.
The man who started it was particular about whom he considered family. For your purposes, you only need his direct blood relatives.
Okay.
Anyone related only by marriage is optional. But filling them in can lead to useful discoveries.
Let's try to 100% it.
Lastly, you now have access to some unique websites, plus a list of notable Roottrees.
Ooh.
Notable people are easy to find via your search engine, and marked with stars on the family tree. I'm off for now. Carl Roottree had a lot in his office. I'll look for anything useful. I'll return once you identify 6 more blood relatives.
We can do it. Oh god, you see that?
Sorry, one last thing. This might sound odd, but if anyone else claiming to represent the Roottrees reaches out, I'd appreciate you not mentioning I was here. Thank you, and good luck.
Even shadier. Okay, we got him. Oh. So the ones with the stars are notable. Oh boy. Sleuth! Okay. Every time you get 3 additional blood relatives in the family tree completely correct, name, occupation, and portrait, they will be locked in. All non-blood relatives and small portraits are optional, but placing them in the tree helps remove extra names and photos. It's gonna be a long night. Good thing tomorrow's a holiday. Oh, look at that. So, we can keep going until we get everything. Top secret. You can open this envelope after the whole family tree has been filled in. It has 2 names that must be typed in manually. The clues are obscure, have been intentionally hidden in the past, and may even require some leaps in logic. Try to keep an eye out for any inconsistencies. The kind of guy named Carl is a mental image. Oh, well, we know Carl Roottrees is their father. This one. Let's look at the new evidence we have before we keep going. Okay. The story so far. The Roottrees sisters and their parents died in a plane crash on December 6, 1998. The next evening, a shadowy figure appeared at your door and said the lawyers were looking to sort out the family tree. After a quick test, the figure gave you access to some resources. This included a list of notable Roottrees who said they would be the easiest family members to place. They said they would return in the time it took to fill out 6 more blood relatives. Yes, it's a holiday tomorrow. It's to commemorate Bataan Day? It's Bataan Day. It's in commemoration of the... Well, or the Day of Valor. Araw ng Kagitingan. This is a list of notable Roottrees. The person who hired you gave you this list and said everyone on it could be found easily via your search engine. So we got the Roottrees sisters done. Yes, we like holidays. Carl Roottree, Elias and Gwyneth Rootree, Gwyn Rootree, Red Rootree, Jim Rootree, Lauren Rootree, Miracle Jr. Any entry on the family tree that belongs to someone on this list will be marked with a star. Notable Rootrees will be crossed out after they are verified and locked. So we've got... Maybe we can start with Carl Rootree, since we know where he's supposed to be, but wait. 5 Pieces ad. This is an advertisement for 5 pieces aimed at kids from the magazine Teen Blast. We can probably search that. It mentions that the 5 pieces were named as such because the original creator had 5 children. The ad also mentions that the current 5 flavors are not the same as back then. Oh. Okay, so the magnifying glass intuition. You've been in this line of work for a long time, so long in fact you've developed a 6th sense for how useful your evidence can be. The numbers in the magnifying glass refer to how many clues are connected to a specific piece of evidence. Oh. The higher the number, the more there is to find. At the start of your search, the notables list sets off alarm bells, a list of famous people that you can find via search engine. It's pretty rare to get something that useful. Let's take advantage of it. So we can start with the notables. Had to run as soon as you said hi. Nearly burned your toast! Oh no! I hope the toast is fine. Enjoy your toast. As you progress, these numbers will change. Whenever you find more evidence or lock in family members, new discoveries will be added to the list and old evidence will become less useful. Trust your intuition. If a piece of evidence seems too good to be true, take a closer look at the people or phrases it mentions. Often the most satisfying revelations come from retracing a path you thought was fully explored, armed with a new perspective. It's fine, that's good. Sometimes the reason certain evidence has such a high value is because it can lead to finding more evidence. You may be missing a huge piece of the puzzle. Gotcha. Okay. So there's like 11 for this ad. Let's start with Carl Rootree. Carl Rootree died in the recent plane crash along with his wife, Aokyo, on the Twitch side. Gonna clear your reward queue over here. There's a... Oh! I didn't actually look at the queue. I kind of stopped keeping track of the queue on YouTube side. I didn't know there was one for Twitch too. But yes, thank you. He was the president of the Rootree Candy Company as well as the clothing company Root, which he co-founded with his wife. Oh right, was it Brenda? She's the only Brenda that comes out, so maybe that's her maiden name. Let's just put it for now. Lurking for the toast. Oh, good. All right. Thank you. There's a short press release that the Roottrees Candy Company released today to news organizations. December 6, 1998. It is with a heavy heart that we mourn the loss of Carl, Brenda, and the Roottrees sisters, and the other employees that perished in the terrible tragedy. The entire Roottrees family is in shock and requesting privacy at this time. As the head of our company, Carl was an incredible man and an unmatched leader. Filling his absence will be difficult and may take considerable time. In the interim, we hope you join us in looking back fondly on Carl and his family's triumphs and accomplishments. They go on to list some of his accomplishments. One of them seems relevant to your search. Like his great-grandfather before him, Carl earned the highly prestigious Watchman of the Year title. Okay, let's search that. Oh! New periodical added, Business Watch. My lunch. Business Watch magazine is a magazine focused on companies, CEOs, and the economy. They've been around for over 100 years in one form or another, and will often write about major changes in management at famous companies. Every year they offer an award to a prominent businessman who has furthered the field. They call this the Watchman of the Year. Is it kind of like Time magazine, but watch? Well, Dragon, thank you so much for the orange super. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. You find through a few searches that two Roottrees have been featured as Watchmen of the Year, Elias Roottree and Carl Roottree. Business Watch does not host any online archives on any site you can find via spider search, so you may be able to find individual articles and issues through your periodical search. Okay, let's try... Oh, here it is now. Search periodicals. Now, Business Watch, we can choose it now. A magazine that focuses on large-scale businesses and corporations seems heavily focused on company leaders. Picture? Carl Roottree was voted Watchman of the Year in 1987 for his work with Root. The cover and the summary of the article has been added to your evidence. There's the man. I think that was the picture they used also for the news thing we watched. Carl Roottree grabs life by the roots. Carl Roottree was voted Watchman of the Year in 1987, and a photo of him appears on the cover. According to the cover, Business Watch is the magazine for and about corporate leaders and has ongoing coverage of who's who in the corporate world. Carl was chosen not for his work at Roottrees Candy, but rather a clothing company, Root. There's a brief history. Before they married, Carl's wife Brenda was a fashion consultant. When Raina was born, Brenda retired to become a stay-at-home mother. Looking for a creative outlet, she spent any free time she had at the sewing machine. Raina's new clothes were a hit with other parents, including Carl's cousin Jim Roottrees, a notable singer. Wait, I think he's also one of the notable ones. But okay, cousin. So cousin is like... Wait, I'm looking at the positions of the stars. Because we have one here, we have these two, and if it's cousin, it's probably this guy. I think. James? For now. And singer, maybe? Singer... Musician. Okay. Well, Carl is... He's supposed to be CEO? Wait, let me check. Or was CEO. Carl Roottree. Well, maybe we'll... Oh wait, we have his picture. Let's put that. And... President. Okay, maybe CEO is not the most accurate. I think they want us to identify who was the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth president. And I think he was the latest one, so that's gotta be it. Okay, so we have Carl for now. We also have Elias we can search on Business Watch. Okay! Elias Roottree was awarded Watchman of the Year in 1936 for his accomplishment of rolling out the 5 pieces to a global market. Notes from the article and a scan someone made of the cover have been added to your evidence. This guy. Look at him. So fancy. Elias Roottrees was voted Watchman of the Year by Business Watch in 1936, and a painting of him appears on the cover. The magazine says he was voted Watchman of the Year specifically to recognize the global rollout of 5 pieces. I want his hat. Yeah! He's like all green. Inside the article is a timeline of 5 pieces. 1908, Elias forms the Roottrees Candy Company after marrying his wife, who inherited a maple farm. During the period before the 5 pieces, the company is barely profitable. Wait, maybe I should also search him on Spider Search? Oops. Elias Roottrees was the founder and first president. Okay. Elias... Oh, here. Elias. Elias Roottrees. President first. That's him right there. Elias has a daughter, the first of 5 children. Yeah, there was like 5 children, inspiring the 5 pieces, I think. 4 more follow, leading to 1922. Elias invents 5 pieces. Each of the 5 flavors is chosen based on the initials of his 5 children, 1 flavor per child. We can find the older ads. That might be a good clue about the order. 1924, 5 pieces are sold in some Pittsburgh markets. 1926, 5 pieces are rolled out to all of New England. The new recipe and flavor is finalized, and the candy begins nationwide distribution in department stores and other shops everywhere. 1935, the Roottrees Candy Company purchases every available maple farm in Pennsylvania in preparation for their global rollout. 1935, with the help of his son Elias Roottrees Jr., architecture firm. But we don't know if he's the oldest or not yet. A new industrialized factory and warehouse are built in Butler County. Oh yeah, there's actually a notebook which we can use to take note of things, but I'm gonna challenge myself and not use it. I actually tried using it at the start when I first played it, but eventually I kind of stopped using it. So let's try just not using it at all. Production is tripled and worldwide distribution begins. There's also a What's Next section that claims Elias is going to pivot to ensuring his company's legacy and that the Roottrees Candy Company remains a family business. He plans to do this with the Clance Trust. Okay, wait. Before we search anything like... Oh! Elias and Gwyneth! This is a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth Roottrees. It was taken in 1909 after they founded the Roottrees Candy Company, but before it was a success. From what you found searching the internet, it seems quite difficult to find any site about Elias or Gwyneth that isn't accompanied by this picture. Elias and Gwyneth are on notable Roottrees list in your evidence. They will be marked on the chart with a star. You know what? Okay, we got Gwyneth. Okay, we don't know her maiden name yet. Wait, let's make a matching. Once you verify this person, you'll be able to add bonus photos. Okay. So let's start with... Oh, we didn't actually read the rest of this, did we? There's also a biography section that has some additional information. Elias is credited for inventing 5 pieces of popular maple candy. Before that, the farm he inherited by marrying his wife only produced syrup. After 5 pieces became wildly successful, Elias spent his time and energy on cementing his reputation as a family man. He's quoted on the site as saying, "Blood is thicker than syrup," and that any child linked by blood to me shall be linked by blood to my legacy. The site enthusiastically claims that he made good on that promise, but offers no additional detail. There are a few more quotes about Elias from a book called Family Man Roottrees Legacy by Bess Williams. To say they are biased is a massive understatement. Below that, there is a long list of accomplishments and awards, and one stands out. Like his great-grandson, Carl, Elias was voted Watchman of the Year. We already searched the Watchman thing. Let's look at the public library. Bess Williams? Published 1920, hardcover non-fiction anthology, an old book about Elias Roottrees. There's no downloadable version available because the book is impossible to find these days. Okay, never mind. Can we search the title? Oh, impossible to find a copy of the book these days. Okay. Let's go back. 5 pieces? Or maybe Gwyneth. Gwyneth Roottrees. You find some information on a website for the first Anderson maple farm. There are a few pictures, including a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth. Okay. The one we have. Before marrying Elias, Gwyneth Roottrees was Gwyneth Anderson! Gwyneth Anderson. She had no brothers, so as the oldest sister, she was to inherit the Anderson maple farm so long as she's married. How's the case going? Pretty good. We have our work cut out for us, though. This family tree is huge! Okay. Before Elias took over, the farm produced only syrup. It was supposedly Elias' idea to create candy instead. Their success was not immediate until they decided to combine the maple with other flavors. This led to 5 pieces, which are still found in stores today. Though the Roottrees Candy Company expanded well beyond their original farm, it has been preserved as a tourist attraction. According to their website, there are still daily demonstrations and educational tours that show off many of the turn-of-the-century appliances that Gwyneth would have used as a housewife in the early 1900s. Oh. Even if she's a founder, she's still just a housewife, man. Oh, well done! These 3 entries are correct. Hey, let's go. You've also locked the following optional entry. Brenda White. Got him. Okay. We have 3 more. There should be another picture for Carl, but we have another picture for Elias. Let's put that here. Maybe we can find another one for Carl. Eric, thank you. Carl. Well, we don't have maybe we can search 5 pieces? From marketing materials and various candy history sites, you learn that 5 pieces are the iconic candy sold by the Roottrees Candy Company. Although they're no longer the company's only popular product, they still sell well to this day. 5 pieces are small, colorful, shell-coated maple candies that, since the late 20s, have been pressed into the shape of a maple leaf, although they usually have one flavor that looks more like a berry. As tastes have changed over the years, so have the 5 flavors, but the shape and combination with maple have remained consistent. Yes, candy! There's also a history of print advertising website that claims to have a 5 pieces advertisement scan from a book called The Sweet History of Candy Volume 2 by Charles Lee. Unfortunately, when you click through the website, it seems like all our image links are broken. Okay, let's try searching. Is it Charles Lee? Ooh! I like the sound of the printer. Hi Chundra, welcome back to the stream. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. We are trying to unravel this family tree. It's big. 1985, History Advertising Nonfiction. This is part of a book series about all things candy in the modern world. It starts in 1925 and continues onward to chronicle the rise of mass production and global distribution. The book ends with a look into the future of candy as envisioned by experts in 1985. With the addition of hindsight, you can clearly see they pretty much got everything wrong. It includes some print advertisements. You find a newspaper ad for 5 pieces from the 1930s. So this is the current one. The flavors are not the same as it was before. So this is the old one. Ooh. You found this advertisement in The Sweet History of Candy Volume 2 by Charles Lee. It's from 1928, 6 years after the debut of 5 pieces. It states that the flavors are inspired by their children in the orders grape, elderberry, cinnamon extract, melon, and the newest flavor, miracle berry. I don't think that's a real flavor. But maybe it has to do with Miracle Junior? Okay. It's a miracle, a modern candy from modern society. Roottrees 5 pieces contain 5 different maple-infused flavors. The Roottrees are a proud family business and our flavors are inspired by our children. G is for grape and Miracle berry is a burst of beautiful blossoming blended berries. That's a lot of bees! Try it today. Wait. Actually, take a closer look. Yeah, the flavors are different now. Strawberry, chocolate, raspberry, apple, plum. There's 5 flavors because the original inventor had 5 kids. Maybe that's why kids still love them. Radical new flavors because it's no longer the 1920s. What even is an elderberry anyway? Are they shading their own old products? This is coincidentally going to be a part of my job in the future. I'm gonna be researching things in history. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we're like, it's like going down internet rabbit holes right now. There's one thing I wanted to search. Teen Blast, was it? Ooh, new periodical. Teen Blast is a magazine aimed at teenage girls. Their website has a news section that offers condolences for the loss of the Roottrees sisters. Their fashion line was often covered by our magazine, and Raina Roottrees first appeared on the cover of her 16th birthday. Maybe we can find another picture for her, because there's a little slot here. Teen Blast. Raina Roottrees. There we go. Raina was on the cover of Teen Blast when she was 16 and did an interview. You add the cover and article to your evidence. There she is. Oh my goodness. This takes me back. Kind of reminds me of Total Girl or something. His researcher Martin. Brother Trouble, new gossip. How to know if he's interested. Win a trip to the set of a new movie. Okay. There's an article about Raina Roottrees from 1994. There's a lot of clues from this. This issue also mentions TMS and Brother Trouble. In an interview, Raina talks about her inspirations. One important thing I learned from an early age is that dreams are not outside of our grasp. My grandpa was a college professor. Grandpa? This guy? Maybe that for now. My grandpa was a college professor who taught lectures about history. He always told me that history was full of people from famous families who wasted their fame and fortune by taking it for granted. Instead, he told me I should go out and use my name to... Oh, thank you for following, Jagged Jantis. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. We're playing The Roottrees Are Dead. Hey dude, I really love the energy and positivity. Thank you. I don't know about Discord though. Oh no, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Yeah, I'm not comfortable with just adding random people on Discord. Okay. Instead he told me I should go out and use my name to accomplish something. I think he may have practiced that lecture a lot because I have other people in my family that have also made the Roottrees name famous for things besides candy. His older sister even wrote a book that some of my friends tell me they had to read in school. Oh, thank you, Kill. I took his advice and now I work with my mom designing clothing. I help decide what colors and patterns I want to model, and then she designs the clothes with a team of amazing men and women. Although my grandpa passed away earlier this year, Grandma Laura tells me he was really proud of what we've managed to accomplish. Is that the wife? Maybe tentatively, since that's what we've got right now. We have her picture though. Hi Alexandra, welcome back to the stream. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let me check our evidence. Okay, we've got Carl, Elias, and Gwyneth. Let's search for Gwyn this time. Next on the list. Ooh! Printing. You find some information on a website about old films that are not yet available on VHS. The site is not very well organized and the search is broken, but you can get to individual pages from your search engine. Gwyn Roottrees is a somewhat well-known actress who was active in the 1950s. She often appeared in tabloids, especially around the time of her highly publicized divorce. Oh. Her biggest role was the minor hit movie Guys Like Us. She left Hollywood after the flop of Christmas Mission. There's a widely circulated picture of Gwyn from behind the scenes on one of her movies, which you've added to the evidence. Did you know, trivia? Gwyn was the granddaughter of Elias Roottrees, the founder of Roottrees Candy. She shouldn't have been named Roottrees, but her father took her mother's famous name, which was quite rare in those days. Oh, this is her. Oh, she's pretty. This photo, okay, is a widely circulated photo of Gwyn Roottrees. You have seen it on multiple websites about old films. Kind of reminds me of Marilyn Monroe a bit. Yeah, it's been a long time since I saw VHS. Not sure if we still have our old player upstairs in the attic. Gwyn Roottrees is on the notable Roottrees list. Okay. She's the granddaughter of Elias. Granddaughter. Okay. This is for example, daughter, right? So she should be on this row. She should be on this row. There's 3 stars on this row. Oh, but this one has a divorce, so this one could be her. The others don't have a divorce. Okay. Gwen. She was an actress, right? Actor. Okay. You got her over there. Guys Like Us. You find some information on a website about old films that are not yet available on VHS. Guys Like Us is a 1953 film in which 2 secretaries cut their hair short and pose as businessmen to get ahead in life until one of them falls in love with their client and hilarity ensues. Starring Gwen Roottrees, Leslie Florence, and Harrison Lane. Did you know? The title is a play on words, as it can be read that the 2 women are men similar to other men, or that the men are fond of them. Okay, well, maybe go back. Christmas Mission? Christmas Mission is on a page called Flops. It was a war movie about World War I, released in 1955, that received poor reviews and lost the studio money. Gwen Roottrees had a role as a soldier's wife who wrote him letters from home. Find no additional relevant information. Did you know? The movie was marketed as an incredible true story, but no record of the events happening has ever been found. Oh no, they lied. Okay, well... periodicals. Would she show up here? No, maybe not, because this was in the 50s. Okay. Well, we have this. Maybe I should search her co-stars? Leslie Florence? Oh, oops. Leslie Florence. You find some information. Leslie Florence was Gwen's co-star in Guys Like Us. Not much relevant information, as she does not have any additional credits on the site. There isn't even a Did You Know trivia section for her. There. Harrison Lane? Harrison Lane was a television actor with a major role in Guys Like Us and some other films. His largest role before Guys Like Us was the villain in the first season of Western Frontiers. Due to the popularity of Guys Like Us, the studio brought Lane back to play the villain's twin brother, this time as a hero joining the protagonist. Western Frontiers has no connection to the Roottrees. Harrison Lane seems to be a dead end. Did you know? Harrison Lane married his high school sweetheart after they reunited at a movie premiere. Okay, it's a dead end. Well, I guess that's what we can find on her for now. How about Red Roottrees? You find information on a website about strange historical facts. Aloysius Herring Roottrees, aka Red, was an appointed judge and politician who earned his nickname ironically because he was the ambassador to Ireland for only about 6 days. He has served what some people contend is the shortest term in history. A few days after he was appointed, he was heard disparaging his position and the Irish people. He then tried to run for state senate. He claimed to be related to the Roottrees company in a newspaper ad, but it came out that the last name was merely a coincidence and he was defeated in a landslide. Red as in red herring? There's a little fish. I guess that's it. Hi Carrie, welcome back to the stream. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. A missing people case? Iku? You may be soon with a Star Fox in the streets. I'll probably give you this case in good hands. No worries, he's around. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. I guess red herring guy is also a red herring. Let's try Jim, the cousin. Oh, picture. James Roottrees is a singer who sings in the duo Jim and Diamond with his wife Diamond LaRoe. Diamond. Ooh, her name is Diamond. Hi Yuki, welcome back to the stream. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Have you heard the tale of a Khajiit tried to cross the border? Is this Skyrim? I hope you're having a good time, and the rest of chat too. I'm cooking beside the stream. Oh, I hope cooking's going well. But yeah, I hope you're doing well, Yuki. I'm trying to fill out this family tree. It's a mystery. The duo, according to many sources you find, is considered a one-hit wonder due to the disco song "Rollin' On Down to the City." This one? Jim and Diamond. Damn! As seen in MMM, only the great-grandson of Elias Roottrees could make disco this sweet. Oh, wait. Hey, 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 hey. Rolling On Down to the City was barely a top 20 hit for a few weeks in 1979. According to the liner notes, it satirizes how part of a society was content to remain indifferent to economic inflation and civil unrest in the Middle East. Unless pop culture tricked them into caring, somewhat unironically, listeners didn't seem to pay attention to the lyrics enough to trick them into caring. Instead, most of its play came from roller discos. Because it was such a product of its time, it doesn't get much play anymore. This music though, even on stations that play oldies, maybe that's why you never heard of it before now. This image is from an auction for a sealed copy. Rollin', 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 I'm down to the city. There's a sticker that says only the great-grandson, okay. Peter Genowitz from MMM, you could probably search that. Music and lyrics by Jim Roottrees, vocals by Jim Roottrees and Diamond LaRoe. Jim Roottrees on the notable list. The lyrics of this song contain no clues. Okay. Hey. Although Jim writes the majority of the songs, plays guitar, and often sings, Diamond is considered by fans to be the band's lead singer. Yeah, that's music. The band never had another hit, but has its fans who refer to themselves as Diamond's Dazzlers. The rest of their music is more folksy and acoustic than the one song they're known for. Jim and Diamond have continued to release music through the 80s and early 90s. Other albums you find mentioned are Cherry Tree and Sound of Laughter. Jim has become a bit of a recluse and he hasn't made a public appearance since 1996. Okay, hey. Maybe I should search the stuff on this page first before I search the thing on the evidence. So Diamond's Dazzlers? Or maybe Jim and Diamond. Oh, it's just the same page. Diamond's Dazzlers? Oh! Diamond's Dazzlers is the name of the official fan club for Jim and Diamond. You find a forum post called Cool Things You Got in Mail from a random forum about video games. One reply mentions that Jim and Diamond still send out a Christmas card every year to Diamond Dazzlers. It's accompanied by some pictures as well as some history about the fan club. Apparently, even though it's no longer available to join, Jim and Diamond still honor it themselves personally. There's a fierce debate in the subsequent posts about whether that's cool or pathetic. Oh no. Amongst the pictures of Christmas cards from over the years, only one is relevant. The card from 1996 includes pictures of Jim and Diamond's young son Wolf, as well as a note about his daughter's band, the Floozies. Wolf? Wait, I'm not sure who's older yet. Was it young? Oh, young son? It doesn't really say youngest. But then... Let me see. Wait, did I take the pictures? Oh wait, this is him. Seems young. He found a picture of a Christmas card from Jim and Diamond to their fan club in 1996. The description said it included a picture of his son Wolf listening to his parents' latest music. Well, I'm gonna guess this is Wolf. Occupation, baby. He doesn't seem like a baby. Student? K to 12 maybe? Wait, we can put her picture. James. Oh! We got it! Hey. Hey. Okay. We've also logged. Oh, Laura Carlson is right. And Diamond LaRoe. This picture. That picture. That picture. Oh, yeah. Oh, she's back. Ace Detective.
You're on a roll.
I don't know about that.
I'll try to keep that momentum going. Carl's office was a mess, thanks to some burst pipes.
Oh, no.
But I unearthed a photo from a 1970s Roottrees reunion.
Oh my god, that's a lot
found
of people.
some important-looking papers.
Okay.
You've traced 9 blood relatives so far. I'll have more to share after you find 9 more.
Okay. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Carrie. Don't forget to hydrate too, guys. We need to find 9 more. Oh no, there's so many new things. Oh no. After some time, they returned with new resources. A photo of Carl's generation taken in the mid to late 1970s, as well as some papers and mail from his office. They then said they had a bit more to share after 9 more relatives. Oh, blood relatives. Oh. Okay. I'm not gonna look at it yet. Let me drink some water. I feel like I want to finish the strings or clues from this thing before I start opening new stuff. The job of a detective doesn't get easier. No, it does not. I feel like it'll only get easier once we've locked in most of it, maybe. Okay. Okay. Let's do it. We're done with the Dazzlers. Oh, the Floozies? Ooh! The Floozies are an all-female punk band operating out of New York City. What do you think so far of the game? I actually enjoyed playing it the first time. So, as per the pinned comment, I did solve it before. But I wanted to actually stream it this time so that people can experience the game. And we'll maybe see if people want to see the second part, Roottrees Mania. But yeah, it's like if you enjoy going down internet rabbit holes and solving like a family tree puzzle, then yeah, you might enjoy this. I like the spider search icon already. Yeah, it's like set in the 90s, so there's a lot of 90s callbacks and stuff. All-female punk band operating out of New York City. They're mentioned in passing in an online review from earlier this year. Apparently they were the opening act for the band the reviewer actually came to see. The reviewer writes that she normally doesn't review the opening act, but this one was unusual, and not because of the music, which she described as loud, fast, and repetitive, but not in the good way. The trio was extremely cagey about their identities. The reviewer asked the venue who they were, but she was told they were rumored to be children of other famous musicians and didn't want that to be why they became popular. Understandable. The reviewer also mentioned that for an underground and unknown band with absolutely no following, their equipment was all extremely expensive, and not only were they selling CDs, but they only cost $1. They were probably losing a fortune. The reviewer said although she bought a copy, she would be unlikely to ever listen to any of it again except maybe Beef Baby, the 7th track. There's no picture of the Floozies performing live, but the cover of the CD they were selling, Conquistadore, has been added to your evidence. This one? A CD from a band called the Floozies that's only available at their live shows. The credits on the cover say, guitars, vocals, Candy, bass, Nikki, drums, Nina. They're a Candy Roottrees. There is! Maybe musician? I guess that could be it. At least we're sure that Wolf is the youngest, so that has to be her. Can I search Beef Baby? Beef Baby is a song by the Floozies. You can't actually find anything else about it anywhere, but with a name like that, it's hard not to speculate on the subject matter, isn't it? Could it be a euphemism? Or about a newborn cow? Perhaps the Floozies are holding a grudge against a toddler. It certainly piques your curiosity if only you had time or resources to look into it further. Hi Greenor, welcome back to the stream. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. We're solving some puzzles. A genealogy puzzle. Conquistadore. Oh, it's the same page. Okay. Before that, there was this guy, Peter Janowicz from MMM. What's that? MMM. Ooh, Modern Music Monthly, a magazine from the 40s to the early 80s. It went out of business due to high competition of much more major publications. Maybe we can Jim Roottrees. A review and interview from 1979 titled "A Reluctant Hitmaker, Jim, Goes into His First Band. Until a few years ago, Diamond and I were in C and J plus J and D with my cousin and his ex. Clark never knew his father, so our grandpop insisted he spend time with my dad and me. As a result, Clark and I grew up like brothers. Diamond and Jane, on the other hand, are actually sisters, so the four of us had a sort of cutesy family band thing going on. Not our finest hour. Regardless, when Diamond walked in on Clark in bed with her youngest sister, everything exploded. No more family band. Wait, did he cheat on her sister with their youngest sister? Bro. The only thing Clark and I had in common was music, but even then we never agreed on what it should be. He was always more interested in catchy tunes, something you hum a week later. I've been told Roland is like that, but that wasn't my goal. Yeah, When he called me up and said he liked it, I took it as a sign it was going in the wrong... Yeah, it's wild! I was in the wrong direction musically. That made him laugh, but I'm trying to make art. I don't mind saying any of this because he'd agreed. For most of the decade, he was a mess, but he's a lot happier now. He started Raffer tunes, and he's a much better jingle writer than a songwriter. One of the benefits of our famous family is a massive company willing to be a client. That's how my father was connected to Roottrees. All of his old ad campaigns. His father was... Ad campaigns hung on the walls over the record player, but I was never interested. I just went straight for the music. I guess Clark was paying more attention. So Jim's dad worked in advertising? And we need to find... Oh. Maybe this is him. Maybe this is Clark, because of the divorce thing. Clark Rafferty? Oh, thank you for following us. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. They also work in advertising. Okay. Raffer tunes. Well, we could search C and J plus J plus D first. Oh! A band called C and J plus J and D released one single called These Times. Someone with the username Die Hard Dazzler. Oh my gosh. The X's. Scanned the cover and noted that it cost him over $200 at auction. Apparently this is Jim Roottrees and Diamond LaRose's first song together. He also mentions it was performed with Jim's cousin and Diamond's sister. I'm not sure which one of these is the first sister. We'll figure it out. And that it was only somewhat similar to Jim and Diamond's later works. You can't find anything else about Die Hard Dazzler, the band, or the single. All that's left to do is add the scan to your evidence. After a blazing fast 35-minute download, the track is also available. You don't say. This one? Oh, this might be a bit hard to guess. But maybe this is Diamond? Oh wait! Folk style songwriting, catchy. J plus D? C plus J? So maybe this is them, and then this is J and D. Diamond? J plus D, Jim and Diamond, okay. I guess this is what we have of him for now. You have a scan of the album as well as a recording. The website also listed the song's credits as music and lyrics by Clark Rafferty and Jim Roottrees. Backup vocals by the LaRose. On it is a sticker that says folk style songwriting catchy. The lyrics of the song contain no clues. Thank you, game. Okay, so we have that. What about Raffer tunes? Oh, a website about Raffer tunes. Clark Rafferty LaRose. So maybe he's still married to the younger sister? Wait, out of curiosity, LaRose? Okay, Jane was the other one. Her? Could this be Kim then? I'ma just put that for now. Rafferty LaRose would probably be their children, but I don't know who's who yet. On it there's an about page and you find a picture labeled The Inspiration of the Famous Super Bowl ad campaign. Below that is more detail. Clark was in a department store getting a family portrait with his wife and children, and when his wife was trying to get his youngest, Katrina, calm down for the picture. He had the idea for the Roottrees Super Bowl ad. Photos now in your evidence. This one? We found this photo on the Rapper Tunes website. It was labeled the inspiration. Okay. Well, he's balding now. Maybe this is Katrina? Then she had to... Oh, thank you for following you, Miko. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. We're playing the Roottrees Are Dead. Clark was in a department store getting a family portrait with his wife and children, and while his wife was trying to get Katrina, his youngest, to calm down for the picture, he had the idea for the Roottrees Super Bowl ad. Okay. Katrina? So Rafferty, LaRoe, Jessica has to be this one. Kim? They don't look that old, but they're not baby, so I'm assuming. Oh! They're not baby! Hey. Wait, I realized we locked in this picture. Maybe I should put in his latest one where he's balding. Ooh, we got these. Booyah! It's such a funny plot. The family died. Now you need to figure out the family tree. It's a lot. It's very important for inheritance purposes, maybe. I guess we can. Oh, we can't swap it right now. We can swap it once it's locked in. Okay. We've got that. Yeah, we're pretty much good with that. Okay. Before we... Oh boy. Let's look at these. Okay. This was buried under a ton of other mail that Carl left in his inbox. It had a handwritten note attached that seemed personal. It's a flyer about a candidate for local office, Stephanie Jones. On the back is an excerpt from a newspaper article from the Butler County Times about her campaign. I feel like we could use this one. Stephanie may have grown up in an unconventional family, to say the least, but in her words, it was still full of love. And now, 22 years later, with a baby of her own due around Christmas, the message for voters is simply, love is our future. The handwritten note says, Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to the candy company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie, she could use the publicity your daughters bring. Don't let our conflict spread to the next generation. CM. Okay. Butler County Times. Let's put that in. New periodical, yes. Butler County is located outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. While the Roottrees Candy Company now has its headquarters in the city, the company began on a small farm within the Butler County limits, and the area has a lot of history with the family. The Butler County Times is presumably a local paper there. There are likely articles from over the years involving the Roottrees family and those adjacent to them. It's been automatically added to your periodical search interface. Nice. As a side note, a video game called The Roottrees Are Dead was once set in the Butler County, and it turns out the creator never lived never lived in or near Butler County or even had any connection to Butler County. Is this the game? The Roottrees Are Dead, not to be confused with a similar game called The Flutenies Are Bred, is a video game about a fictional family called the Roottrees about discovering their lineage after the Roottrees sisters are killed in a plane crash. This is so meta. The game takes place in Butler County, which is a real county in Pennsylvania, but uses fictional elements such as a fake newspaper called the Butler County Times. The creator of the game does not know anyone who lives in Butler County and has never even been there. Instead, he just randomly picked somewhere on the map near a major metropolitan area that sounded reasonable and hoped not to somehow accidentally offend the people that actually lived there. Nice. Okay, I got the pictures for this. Well, maybe we can search... I don't know if I should go down this road first or go for the stars that we could go for. Let's do the stars first. Get those out of the way. Lauren Roottrees. Author Lauren Roottrees. Well, we have 2 stars left. She could be this or that. This game is just fictional, I know, but would you say it could be a bit creepy what you can get out of the web by research if you do that in real life? There's a lot you can search for, yeah. I think it, Especially nowadays, there's so much information on the internet. That's why you have to be careful about what you put out there. A distant relative of the Roottrees sisters is known for her book A Life Between Wars. According to a website about famous authors in the early 1960s, Lauren released a few romance novels under her married name, Lauren Rafferty. Rafferty! Lauren Rafferty. Oh, I'm not sure which Rafferty he is. But she's an author. So that must be her. To little fanfare, when her publisher learned she had been keeping diaries about her famous family, they insisted she release them under her original name, Lauren Roottrees, to take advantage of her family's notoriety. The selection of diary entries released in 1965 as A Life Between Wars spans from the untimely death of her husband in World War II to coping with the post-war world as a young widow and mother, as well as her perspectives on changing times and socialites, all the way through the entry into Vietnam. While the content is not considered particularly relevant to modern audiences, it has found new life as an exercise in high school English classes to show an evolution in writing style and for a look into life in previous generations. After the success of her diaries, the publisher re-released her romance novels under the name Lauren Roottrees. This included Romance in Court, which gained popularity. She followed the re-release up by writing 2 new sequels, creating what fans refer to as the Court Jester series. You find no recent details about Lauren, though she's listed as retired. Okay. I don't think retired is a job here. Yeah, so I guess the last thing before retirement was author. Life Between Wars. Wait, let me copy. Control C and Control V works pretty well. Lauren Roottrees. Diary. Published 1965. Oh my god! That's a lot. Student edition, republished 1983. Nonfiction. It seems you've hit the jackpot here. This is a book occasionally taught in schools. You've even found a hardcover edition for students that has full-page, high-quality pictures in it. A summary of the contents of the book, photos, as well as some particularly relevant entries from the diary have been added to your evidence. 10! Oh. Well, these are the pictures that we got. So it's this. Her. That must be her husband. The below are no. Wait a minute. Oh, there's different entries. The below are notes and observations you made while skimming through Lauren Roottrees' diary pages in A Life Between Wars. Lauren Roottrees is on the notable Roottrees list. The book was published in 1965 and consists of diary entries that stretch from 1940 to 1965. The most important event that much of the diary and Lauren's thoughts revolve around was the loss of her husband, Jacob! Jacob Rafferty. That must be you. That must be you. Okay. Jacob died in the final months of World War II while Lauren was pregnant. This left her to raise her son, Clark, alone. Lauren never remarried and only had 1 child. By skimming the pages of the diary, you glean the following information. She was the granddaughter of Elias and Gwyneth on her father's side. So, father's side. So the father is the Roottrees. Her mother's family was called the Cossells, but she hardly ever mentions them. Is there a Cossell? Sarah Cossell? Okay. Her father, who she always referred to as Pop, was the head lawyer for the Roottrees Candy Company and helped write a legal document called the Clancy Trust. Let's search for that in a bit. Lawyer? It's clear from context that the Roottrees have internal shorthand names for the different generations of their family. Lauren uses them often. 5 pieces. The first generation of children by Gwyneth and Elias. Lauren's father was in this generation. So these were the original 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next generation is called Lauren's generation. So next gen is this row right here, I guess. Yeah. The Free Spirits, the generation after Lawrence, including her son. So that's Clark's generation? Yeah, this one. I guess there's no name for the generation after, but okay. An entry titled complaints. Well, okay, before that, let me search for the Clancid Trust. The Clancid, pronounced Clancid. Hi Alice, welcome back to the stream. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm playing The Roottrees Are Dead. It's like a puzzle, a genealogy family tree puzzle game. So it's like internet rabbit hole stuff. Hope you're doing well. It's a highly unusual corporate arrangement named after the Clancy Edward Roottree, who was Elias's son and the Rootree Candy Company's head lawyer. Is that him? Clancy Edward? We look at the 5-piece thing. CE? Cinnamon extract? He must be the third one then. Clancy Edward. Hold on. Who was Elias's son and the head lawyer? Okay. Due to its unique nature, it's often brought up in online discussions about financial matters and inheritance as an oddity. The company mandates that a fixed percentage of its profits are split every quarter amongst bank accounts representing each direct relative of Elias and Gwyneth. So that's why. An account is created for each blood relative at birth and is first accessible when they reach 18. The actual numbers have never fully been disclosed to the public, but due to the ever-increasing success of the company, it's a significant amount of money. The Clancid Trust is known for being essentially impossible to get around due to many checks and balances written into it. You look serious? Yeah, I'm like, well, we're puzzle solving. I'm in detective mode, yes. Still, there have been a few situations in which family members have tried to forcibly remove another member from the trust. Most details online are pretty vague since the matters are handled internally. The only information you discover is from a university law school which apparently had a guest lecturer talk about the Roottrees versus RR in 1994. While looking into the Clancy Trust, you often find mentions to the 5-piece guarantee, which went into effect at the same time. Let me search for Roottrees versus RR. You find very few details about this particular incident with regards to the Clancy Trust. A student that attended the lecture wrote about it in the following on a legal oddities website. From what you can tell, RR attempted unsuccessfully to remove a fellow family member from the trust. It was said that RR, I'm assuming the other R is Roottree, attempted 2 arguments. First, the person in question was born out of wedlock, and second, they committed a significant crime against a fellow family member. Still, due to the ironclad wording of the Clancid Trust, it was impossible to remove any direct descendant of Elias Rootree without completely dissolving the trust. Ooh, sounds drama. So, let's search the 5-piece guarantee. The 5-piece guarantee, in combination with the Clancid Trust, was Elias Rootree's attempt to ensure the Rootree Candy Company would remain a family business for eternity. In isolation, it's somewhat baffling. The yearly salary of Rootree's president is always locked to the price of a single pack of 5 pieces. When the 5-piece guarantee went into effect, this was 25 cents a year. Now it's closer to $4. Combined with the Clancid Trust, however, it makes a bit more sense. Elias wanted to ensure that only his direct relatives could afford to be president, and he knew that because of their passive income was tied to the profits of the company, they would have a vested interest in keeping the company as profitable and successful as possible. So it's not really worth becoming president unless you're a direct relative, I guess. Whether or not this was a smart or successful decision is widely debated online and in person by economic enthusiasts of all levels of expertise. Okay. Well, that was the Clancy Trust. Let me check this one. In 1953, an entry titled Complaints from Lauren's Diary, written in 1953. This entry seems to focus specifically on one of Lauren's family members, Gwyn. Okay. It seems everyone has something to complain about. Gwyn, as an only child, complained of loneliness. I told her that being expected to watch after 3 younger brothers didn't feel like a blessing, but it fell on deaf ears. 3 younger brothers. Okay, so, yeah, this is her. So she had 3 younger brothers here. Yeah, this is grandpa. We don't know his name yet. During the summer where I went to stay with her and Aunt Margot... Margot? M. It could be the fourth child. Is there a Margot? Margaret? Is that her? Okay. Margaret. Where was I? Okay. I hoped she would be the sister I never had and that I'd do the same for her. I even tried to dye my hair blonde to fit in with the two of them. So Aunt Margot's blonde as well? What a mess, but she just complained. To her, I was the lucky cousin. Now she's off living the glamorous life while I'm stuck here with Clark. I must admit, seeing her everywhere contributes to my unhappiness. Her visage stares at me, even now from my coffee table. She gets to be in starlit. Okay, let's search that after. And tells tales of how she gallivants about the world, around the world, kissing the likes of Harrison Lane and Wild Bill Williams. Wait, what kind of name is that? She's the first Roottrees woman to be anything other than a housewife. Does that mean everyone before her was a housewife then? Would Margaret be housewife? Okay. And I am jealous. If I were not a single mother, I could make my own way in this world. But I'm off topic. A girl with all the luck in the world was jealous of me. And now, though I have been undoubtedly burdened by terrible tragedy, I am also lucky to be born into a family that can support me for eternity. I can raise a child without worry, unlike countless other widows. If any of them were to hear me complaining, they would rightfully scoff, just like I do at Gwyn. Okay, let's search Starlet. Starlet. Oh, periodical. Starlet was a magazine that started with the colorization of film and went until around 1964. Generally, it was a tabloid with a focus on famous actors and actresses. It didn't go much into other aspects of filmmaking or Hollywood news. Maybe we can find more about her here. Gwyn Roottrees. Gwyn Roottrees was often in Starlet. Most mentions were about the time of her divorce from Wild Bill Williams. Surely that's not his name, right? Wait, where is he? Where's she? Williams? No. Wild Bill. Nope. That's not his real name. Oops. Here we go. The gossip is speculative and full of tabloid stereotypes. Some of it focuses on the fact that when she announced her divorce, she also announced she was pregnant again. Others mention that the rumor is Wild Bill had multiple affairs which left her heartbroken. Bruh. There's also an interview from earlier, mid-1957, where she was asked about her last name. She answered, "The power of a name is undeniable. My grandfather constantly preached the importance of family names and honoring them. My father decided to bless me with a famous name. There's nothing wrong with Cornwall." Cornwall's the dad? Linus! Okay. But Roottrees has power. My husband similarly goes by Wild Bill. It's an infamous name he repurposed for himself because he didn't have the benefit of being born with a famous one. But Wild, combined with the alliteration Williams, is incredibly memorable. Although we've relocated to Paris, I know your readers love to keep up with my husband, so consider this a Starlet exclusive about both of us. Wild Bill and I have a child on the way, and we're sticking with Roottrees for the last name, not Williams. But we also plan to lean into alliteration. R? Who? That's how we'll honor both of our family names for the next generation. So maybe both of the children have names starting with R. Let's search for Wild Bill. On Spider Search first. Yes, interesting. You find some information on a website about old films that are not yet available on VHS. This, okay. Wild Bill was the leading man of some non-notable movies in the 50s. He appeared in an adventure movie called Fortune Favors the Grave, which is yet to be released for home audiences. You don't find any additional info about that film. He was known for his good looks and off-screen romances, specifically with blondes. He was married 4 different times to 4 different actresses. There's a famous Hollywood rumor that he even approached Marilyn Monroe at a party and that she was already aware of his reputation. I see. Did you know? Wild Bill grew up in Paris, France. He returned there often. What about Fortune Favors the Grave? Oh, it's the same page. Maybe there's more about him in Starlet? Wild Bill Williams was mentioned many times throughout the magazine's lifespan, with stories and gossip about who he'd been seen with in public. Blondes mostly. 3 specific passages stand out. The first mentions one of his first roles was under his real name, Walter Walter Forsyth? The second is an interview. Although he doesn't mention her by name, you determine from context he's talking about Gwen Roottrees. An apology to all the ladies, I'm actually taken. Earlier this year I did a friend a favor. He was directing a war movie and asked me to play a small part. Wouldn't you know it, that son of a... a beach? Cut me from the picture. I'm just ribbing, it wasn't his fault. Apparently the studio didn't want to pay for a star of my caliber. I got the last laugh though. I met someone. She spent most of the film crying. She was playing a soldier's wife. But even through the tears, she was incredible. I know I tend to have a reputation, but this one's true love. I only have eyes for her. Sure! And you guys got divorced anyways. Ironically, the third is a rumor that his divorce from Gwen was due to multiple affairs, including one with another actress. An American reader on vacation in Paris claims to have overheard Wild Bill and Gwen arguing in public while she was holding a baby and visibly pregnant. Not long after, Gwen announced she was divorcing Wild Bill and also that she was pregnant again, giving this rumor more credibility. Okay. We've got that from the Starlet stuff. Dynasty. An entry titled Dynasty from Lauren's diary. It focuses on the day her grandfather Elias announced he would step down as president of the Roottrees Candy Company and meeting to determine his successor. I wish I had been a fly on the wall today. Clancy told me that everyone got quite heated. Granddad was furious none of his sons... Wait, I'm not sure which one could be Clancy. Is there just a Clancy Roottrees? There's a Clancy Edward, we know, and there's Clancy Jr. We don't know which one is Clancy Jr. yet, I guess. Granddad, okay. With architects, preachers, and lawyers, nobody's got time for candy. So with the 5 pieces refusing to step up, it came down to us next gens. So there was no president in the 5-piece generation. So the second president was in next gen? Pop argued at length that the company should stay with our branch of the family since we still have the Roottrees name. I'm not even sure Clancy would have wanted it, but he's the one who was volunteered. Instead, it ended up going to Zach. Zach? What names are... There's a Zach with an H and a Zachariah Morden. Okay. Hi Dart, welcome back to the stream. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. We're solving a family tree mystery. Hold on. Okay, here. Even though his surname doesn't match the candy. Oh. Wait, did they both have different last names? Zach. Yeah, they're both different. It's not Roottrees. Even though his surname doesn't match the candy, he's the firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. Firstborn son? I'm not sure which one could it be yet. Okay. Should be on that side though. Yeah, hope you're doing well and hope work goes well. Okay, wait. Here. I'm not sure how that's relevant to running a company, but Granddad always had particular views when it came to his bloodline. I asked Clancy if it ever came up that a woman could take over. After all, Angie's older than Zach. And I'm the next oldest of all, but he just left. So... older than Zach. Angie? I'm not sure if Angie could be... his older sister, or if she's just an older cousin. Well, we'll see. But he just left. I'll never forget the cuss words Pop used when he told Ma it wouldn't go to us. Mother, ever the quick-witted, at least with catty remarks, countered back, maybe they wanted it to go to the only member of the family who looks like he samples the product. Bro! That's pretty mean. Okay. Don't think there's anything particular I can search here. Let's just keep going. An entry entitled Sam from Lauren's diary in 1963. From a previous entry, you learned that Elias Roottrees had given in to his wife and announced that Sam, an obscure relative, was to be included in family gatherings. Gwyneth had been pushing to include Sam for quite some time. Lauren writes, "Why Sam? I have many distant relatives I've never met. After all, Granny had sisters and Granddad had a brother or two, but I was told, trim their branches from the family tree, so why is Sam special? Nothing adds up, and I'm not the only one to realize." Angie summoned all the next gens to a secret meeting in Zach's office. Wynn's in Paris, but the rest of us, including Miracle's boy, spent ages trying to unravel the mystery. I didn't recognize Sam at Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy. Uncle Junior? Uncle. Is this Elias Jr.? So he's married to Patsy, but we don't know where he... Wait. Hold on. Let me check the order again. Could Elias Jr. be the second? Elias Jr. Okay. And I think we read somewhere he was a... Elias Roottrees Jr.'s architecture firm. So, he was an architect? Well, I haven't looked at the pictures yet, but, let's go back here. Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy. Patsy? There's two Patricias. Okay. At the reception, when I asked who Sam was, Pop shushed me and said it was complicated. Clancy swore he saw Sam work alongside the farmhands E.C. and John when he used to drive past the old Anderson farm on his way to work. Upon hearing that, Zach checked the records and managed to confirm all three are on the books. Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother. Oh yeah, there's still Miracle. Even chimed in. Apparently, when he was riding his mini bike alongside the farm a few weeks ago, Sam gave him some old tools and taught him how to make the bike's engine faster. None of us think that proper for a multitude of reasons, but Eli certainly seems thrilled. So she has a brother named Eli as well. There's probably quite a few Eliases. At the end of the day, nothing explains why an outsider has cozied into family affairs, especially one who works on the farm of all places. Whatever happened to blood is thicker than syrup? Why is Granddad making an exception now? Okay. I feel like a lot of these things are clues for once we have more clues. But let's go through it. One of the final entries, called Clark, from Lauren's diary in 1964. Clark's getting married and, in my opinion, far too young. He's barely 18, and Danielle isn't much older. That his first wife? Danielle Franks? But openly confronting them would make me a hypocrite. After all, Jacob and I got married at 16. Those were the days, huh? Clark, like the rest of his generation, is a free spirit. What else do you call a group of kids growing up with more money than any one person can spend? They all aspire to be musicians and artists and dancers and all sorts of nonsense. The only one who has any discipline is Carl, but that's because Pop forced Clancy to send him to the academy. Maybe this is Clancy then. Clancy Jr.? Since, he was the one who forced Carl to go to the academy. Hey yo, Villa! Welcome to the stream. Damn, join now and I might win 20k. What? Is that an ad? Oh no. Don't believe it, no. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. I'm solving family tree mystery. Maybe I'm just getting old, but our generation was never so bad. My brothers all seemed to pursue paths of knowledge, and the most rebellious thing any of us ever did was bring home someone who would be illegal to marry if we lived anywhere south of Pennsylvania. Okay, so interesting to note, maybe about someone's spouse. Pop seems to have gotten over it because Edward is set to take over his apartment once he retires, so her brother Edward is also... Oh wait a minute. We already know one of them is in advertising. So one of them who became a lawyer is the remaining brother? So this must be Edward? Okay. Okay. Edward. As for me, my first published book, Swashbuckle My Heart, is based on the pirate stories I used to invent with Jacob when we were walking in the woods after school. I think he'd be proud that Clark and I are carrying on his name. Even my cousins are doing well. Zach's not a bad president after all, and his sister seems to be doing a good job of raising her twins. A lot of them have like 2 children, so that doesn't really narrow it down. Gwyn is Gwyn, but, well, I guess if we see twins somewhere, that could be a clue. Gwyn is Gwyn, but at least she came out of the divorce with her head held high. She even told us she might come home next year so we can meet her kids. But the free spirits in any other family, they'd all end up on the streets, even Clark. Okay. Maybe it's time to look at these pictures. Oh wait, I'm not actually done with this list yet. Wonder if I should go for the Miracle Jr. Wait, before that, Lauren Roottrees. We can search her books. Oh, oops. Swashbuckle My Heart. Maybe it's Rafferty. No copies available. Re-released as X marks the spot. If it was re-released. Fiction, romance. According to the back of the book, this is A Buried Treasure by Lauren Roottrees from the author of the Court series. It also says keep an eye out for Lauren Roottrees' next book, Revisiting the Diary 10 years later. Ooh, hold on. 10 years later. Scandal.txt. Oh no! There's so much in her diaries. This was a version of Lauren Roottrees' diary released in 1975. Unlike the original diary, it contains no pictures, but has many new passages that reflect on her thoughts 10 years later. One major event happened between releases that changed Lauren's outlook on certain subjects: the death of Elias. A summary of the fallout has been added to your notes as well as some other select pages. Oh. Oh boy. Wait, there's more. Hold on. Before I go into that, let me look at Romance in Court. Romance in Court. The about the author blurb mentioned she had inspiration from one of her brother Clancy's lectures on the Middle Ages. Okay, so it kind of confirms that Clancy's the professor. Worcester? Romance in Court is a book by Lauren Roottrees. It's the first and most famous of a series of 3 books often called the Corchester series. All 3 books in the series are about different romances but told via the same narrator. You can probably surmise the narrator's profession. The other 2 books were called Return to Court and New Romance in Court. Searching for them online yields few results. The best place to find romance in a courtroom. I guess it's kind of like one of those courtroom dramas. The books had some popularity when they were released in the late 60s. Now, 30 years later, they aren't in high demand. Follow-up to Romance in Court. Okay, maybe it's the same, but I just want to search it. Copy. Okay, well, that's about it for her books, I guess. Now, it's time to get into... Maybe I should grab one of these pictures before I read the rest of the diary stuff. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Here's a bonus. When I pulled the water-damaged picture of the free spirits out of the frame, this fell out too. Written on the back of the photo is, couldn't make the reunion, wishing you well from Paris, Gwyn and the boys. Are those her sons? Wait. So this is also Gwyn. Not sure who's who here. Film school? We can probably go down that rabbit hole, but hold on. Shiva candle. This photo was tucked inside an envelope with a letter beneath the candle in the corner of his office. The letter says, to Carl and Brenda, I'm sorry that you were unable to attend the funeral. It's traditional to have it as soon as possible, and Ernie, more than anyone else on Earth, knew how busy your job can be. I've enclosed a Shiva candle identical to ours if you'd like to pay your respects, although it's not expected for those outside of the faith to do so. Ernie was a man full of love, not only for his family, but for his family's legacy. He had an immense amount of pride for the work you three did together, as well as how Carl has carried on for him after taking over. Is he the 4th president? Ernie? It's probably short for Ernest or something. Maybe we can search that. As for myself, it's impossible to express my gratitude enough for rescuing us from the panic and burden of endless bills. Though we caught it too late for him to get on the donor list, the company took care of us beyond our wildest expectations. It went unsaid at that time, but Ernie and I knew it had to have been Carl that convinced the trust, and that it was no coincidence that it happened shortly after your visit, Brenda. Up until the end, Ernie and I had to stay strong, especially for Nicole's sake. Would this be Nicole, and then this is Debbie? We could never have done that much without the two of you fighting for us. Much love, Debbie. Hold on. There's an Ernie. Let me check the names. Oh, Madsen. And there's a Junior. What if we search an Ernest Madsen? Okay. What about in Business Watch? An article from 1982 announces that an Ernest Madsen Jr. is taking over the day-to-day operations of Roottrees after the previous president died unexpectedly. Little is known about Ernest, but close sources to the family who have asked to remain anonymous have made it clear that he is more than qualified. There are rumors that Ernest had originally trained to succeed Zach Morden. Morden. Well, let's put him here first. That must be Zachariah Morden? 2nd president. We could probably try searching him in Business Watch as well. But had been passed up for unspecified reasons. Business Watch also managed to get a quote from the company's publicist. The last 4 years at Roottrees have been rough. In an attempt to keep our products relevant to the modern audiences, some of our decisions have had unintended consequences. From the fancy flavors misstep to the batter-up bar, we've taken a bit of a tumble in the public eye, but Mr. Madsen is committed to getting back to the basics. Okay. Fancy Flavors was an addition to the 5-piece product line for less than a year. It was Guy Hudson's first and historically most cited move as president of Roottrees. The 3rd, Guy Hudson. In an attempt to cater more towards what he thought an average person wanted, Guy looked at his own wealth, which was often a source of envy for others, and decided to tap into the idea that if they added fancy flavors to 5 pieces, anyone could live like the wealthy. This philosophy led to a flavor in the 5 pieces that was meant to mimic caviar in candy. 5 pieces sold less than that year than it had any other year. Understandable. Except in some foreign markets. It was very quickly announced that caviar was meant to be a limited flavor and would go back to normal as soon as possible. Bro, I can't imagine a caviar candy. Batter up bar. Oh, wait a minute. The Batter Up Bar was a failed candy bar released by the Roottrees company. Launched with great fanfare in 1980, it was meant to evoke the classic combination of pancakes and maple syrup. The name came from the fact that its recipe used a creamy imitation of pancake batter as its filling, and the packaging had baseball imagery. Consumers loved the taste, and the candy launched to stellar reviews, but after a little less than a month on the shelf, it was discovered that the filling of unopened bars began to separate and developed an off-putting texture described as powdery chunks floating in oily goop. Ew. This odd consistency made it the punchline of late-night jokes for weeks, solidifying its reputation as a failure. Hi Jessel, welcome back to the stream. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm playing Roottrees Are Dead. I'm trying to fill out this family tree with the internet and stuff. Yeah, let's search for Zach Morden on Business Watch. In 1959, there's a small blurb about Zach Morden, son of James and Gwendolyn Morden. Gwendolyn! And grandson of Elias Roottrees inheriting the candy company. Gwendolyn is the eldest. Gwendolyn. She would be Roottrees though, right? because family trees use surnames from birth even if that person changed their last name after marriage. Always use a person's most recent occupant. Okay. How are you? I'm doing alright, thank you for asking. So, since this was before Gwen, I'm assuming she's housewife as well. And Morden James? Zachariah Morden. Okay. He's quoted as saying, Elias trusted me with carrying on his legacy and that's what I plan to do. Along with 5 pieces, our chocolate maple products are selling incredibly well. We will not be making any changes. Okay. We don't know where Ernest is on the tree yet. Or Guy Hudson. We'll table those two for now. So these are the 5 pieces. Lauren's diary contains some labeled pictures. This picture was famous in our house. Pop even had it framed. That's him on the left. Clancy? Oh, let's go! Lock him in. Hey. Okay, Sarah's right. Jacob, yep. Danielle, Linus, okay. At least when we fill in the optional entries, it eliminates names that we can choose from for the others. Booyah!
You're listening to
Why did it sound so
It's time for your
spoopy?
headlines. Once an hour, every hour, on the 45. It's a bizarre development to an already tragic tale. In the wake of the accident that took his life, some of Carl Roottrees' belongings have apparently gone missing.
Wait.
Most notably, a framed photo of the Rootree family from the mid-1970s.
Isn't this what the
Carl
lady
had on his
took?
office wall. We interviewed a local psychologist about who would do such a thing and why. For that article, search online for WRTD News.
WRTD
Again,
News?
That's WRTD.
Huh. So was she not supposed to get those things? WRTD News is your local investigative jazz radio station. During their news segments at 45 minutes on the hour, they have been talking about the plane crash. In this most recent hour, they also talked about a picture taken from Carl's office about the plane crash and promised an interview online with a psychologist. During the interview, it's revealed there wasn't a break-in. Instead, someone with a key to the office took the picture after discovering the pipes burst due to the recent storm. This means it was likely someone close to the family who was aware of the photo's history and wanted to save it. The psychologist, however, goes on to posit the culprit had an alternate agenda, specifically because nobody in the family has come forward to say they have it in their possession. A comment below the article says, "Don't believe their lies. This is just another instance of the Rootree curse." Being a real true thing, I bet you Carl was murdered and the picture had evidence on it, bro. There's a long, rambly conspiracy website with very small, very red text on a black background that says the Roottrees are cursed. It has been very recently updated with the following. Important update. With Carl and Brenda and their girls, that makes 5 new deaths. Not only that, but 3 of the 5 presidents of the Rootree company have died mysteriously. They say Guy's car was hit by a drunk driver in 1982, but nobody was arrested. Then Ernie Madsen Jr. stepped down. Was he poisoned? No. Just this week, Carl died in a plane crash. This cannot be a coincidence. There's another entry that claims if you connect the dots in a pattern of the 5 pieces wrapper, it creates a Mayan ruby skull? A secret message meant to subliminally scare people away? I feel like this is such a stretch. The post before that has a link to the site that talks about how Earth has 4 corners simultaneous 4-day time cubes. The author of this site seems to agree. An entry from a few months ago claims that the owner of the site received an email from Chris Raff. We should probably search that. Asking him to take down his site with faked proof that Ernie Madsen Jr. actually had a heart condition that wasn't poisoned. The owner claims that although the proof looks quite credible, he knows that proof was fake because he was an expert at creating fake evidence. Oh. The first entry is from 1996 and has a blurry picture of the Rootree Candy Company factory, seemingly taken by the website's author from behind a fence and through some trees. It seems that Operation RT-29 is real. I witnessed a helicopter land on February 29, 1996. The website footer says, all images and ideas by Thomas Overwood. Okay, what's this thing though? A symbol of death. The alleged proof is a blurry photo of a reddish shape that's supposedly a cave painting from South America. According to legend, discovered beneath the painting were bones from hundreds of different people and animals. One site also mentions that the photographer who took the picture died when their boat capsized after crashing into a skull-shaped rock. Amongst the spinning skull gifts, you find no sources or verifiable details to back up any photos or claims. To you, the blurry photo looks more like an egg than a skull. What about this four-corner thingy? Nothing relevant. Wait. You begin to read this site and come to the conclusion that the words "no relevant results" isn't a strong enough description for what you're seeing here. It's a massive column of technical terms that aren't real and confusing rants you can't find any meaning in. Regardless, it won't help with your search. Okay. Let's search Chris Raff. Ooh! You find a simple page called The Art of Rafferty, copyright 1997, on Prodigy that lists the author email address as chrisraff75@prodigy.us. A bunch of GIFs that say under construction. Below them are a few art pieces. The first is a painting captioned "Me and my fiance Lulu," a painting I did. So is this the other son? Oh, this must be Rafferty. Chris Rafferty? A painting I did for my first year of college that I plan to give her when we get married in May. Go Tardens! There's an odd collage called Cousins, which seems to be made up of 3 scrambled images. The accompanying artist's statement says, "We had to create a piece of art about our family. I asked as many of my extended family of cousins for their pictures as I could, even some I've never met. Only a few of them got back to me, and my teacher said I wasn't allowed to use pictures of Raina, Riley, or Rose, so I had to get creative and use only my 3rd cousins." Oh, that could help for some of these lower branches. This includes Davy, he swims for Yukon, and Bethany's yearbook pictures. He's Davy's younger sister. Oh, there's so many down there. And Stephanie, who's an only child. Chris's artwork has been added to your evidence, but the cousins' photos will need to be unscrambled before you can use them. You've downloaded a new application, PixPop, to edit the photos. Oh, it's Prodigy. Prodigy is an ISP that, in addition to allowing people to travel the information superhighway, offers email services and web hosting. Customers choose a unique screen name, then Prodigy automatically creates them an email address and a simple website they can edit and share with other people. Not everyone with the service makes a website, but if they do, you can usually find it by searching for their screen name. Hi, Crunch! I watched the ad. Did I contribute? I think so. Thank you for watching the ad. Hope you're doing well. I'm solving family tree puzzle. It's a mystery. Okay, well... Ooh. I'll unscramble those when we get the other... Once I grab the other... Yes, sleuthing, we are! I don't know if I want to chase this... The cousins at the moment. Like the 3rd cousins. It'll be hard to place where they are. Okay. So... The blonde one has to be... Aunt Margot. This one has to be the remaining one. Gwendolyn. Okay. Oh. We got the 5 pieces, but oh! Hold on. Not long before they were set to return, you heard something odd on WRTD radio. The photo you were given may have been stolen from Carl's office. The newscaster mentioned you could search online for WRTD. Yeah, I did. Okay, let's go through the other... Oh! Wait. So that's the free spirits. Let's go for next gen first. Wowie. The next gen. An attempt to recapture the spirit of the 5 pieces photo with our generation. For old time's sake, we gathered on the warehouse floor. I wanted Eli to stand on the way all the way to the left, since to me he looked a lot like Pop did in the old one. But I was outvoted by my brothers. So Eli looks like their father in the old picture? They insisted the 4 of us stand together, and so we clump up in the middle and let everyone filter behind and in front of us. The only one too good to make an appearance was Gwyn. Grandma insisted we include Sam even if we didn't want to. None of us understood why, including Sam. I also didn't think it fair Miracle made it in since he's technically a 5-piece. I guess my inner child still holds a grudge even after all those years. So, there's the 4. He kind of looks like... Wait. So this could be Lauren. Her. Edward... Elias. Wait a minute. Hold on. She say Elias, not Edward. Yeah, Eli. Yeah, she had a brother named Eli. There's Elias C and Elias M. Maybe it's C though, because Cosell? I don't know. Maybe. Eli C, was it? Looked a lot like Pop, so maybe him. And then this younger one could be Edward. So the other one would be... Oh! Yay! Dum dum. Dum dum. Okay, we got those 3. And that picture. Booyah. Oh! Hello.
So, you may have heard the news. Some of Carl's things have gone missing. That includes the pictures and mail I brought you earlier. I promise I didn't steal it.
Sure.
But I did borrow it. I'll return it once we're done. Let me deal with my family in the meantime.
My family?
I guess that means I've officially confessed. I'm a Roottrees.
Which one, though?
I assure you I have a reasonable explanation for the secrecy. I'm about to do something big the family doesn't approve of.
Ooh.
If you could just wait a little bit longer, I'll tell you more. In person. I'll return after 15 more blood relatives.
Okay. I see. Alright. Maybe this and then this? Don't know their spouses though. Okay. We've got... Ooh! We're not sure which one's that, but it should be all of the next gen, I guess? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's get all the pictures. Okay. Get all the pictures here too. Oh boy, the free spirits. Wait, did I get everyone? Oh! Well, I guess this guy's included somehow. Okay, well... Every 20 or so years, the Roottrees would hold a big reunion and recreate an old family photo. This is the one from the 70s, and Carl's the teenager in the middle. Is Carl? Sorry about the water damage. A pipe burst in Carl's office. On the back of the photo, in childish print writing, it says November. There are also a large number of cursive signatures. They include Bonnie, next president Guy Hudson, he's here, Ernie Jr., Carolyn, Gwyneth M., Gwendolyn, Miracle Jr., Jim Roottrees, Clark, Carl, and Eli M. Oh my god. Oh boy. Okay, wait. Let's put in Carl's extra photo. Has to be this one. And now which one is James or Clark yet? Well, we'll probably find something. Okay, I've gotten those pictures. Instead of returning, the person who hired you called you on the phone. They claimed they were a Roottrees. They also told you they'd give you more of an explanation the next time they returned. Okay. Before we do the diary, I wanted to do something. It was... Oh yeah. We've got Miracle Jr. remaining. Let's search for that. Since might as well get rid of all of the starred notable Roottrees. Miracle Jr. doesn't go by his full name in promotional materials. Instead, he's shortened it to Miracle Jr. Miracle Jr. is a televangelist who is part of the Miracle Network. He used to have a show that aired on local access across many stations in the northeastern United States. According to a website called Clergy Watch, he was exposed and subsequently charged with conspiracy to defraud the public in 1979 when he claimed to heal someone in a wheelchair. A news expose revealed it was his wife Edith's sister in a disguise. The author also mentions that Edith had a bit of a checkered past herself but doesn't clarify. He has since lost his television show and instead goes on tour across the southern United States where he was not well known before the scandal. Might as well fill him in this last star then. Miracle Jr. Roottrees. If he's the junior, then maybe this is the father, Miracle. And for which the flavor was named after. So I'm assuming his son would be Miracle the Third. Bro. A preacher? Okay, cool. Okay. Televangelist Day, Miracle Network. Oh! We find a website for the Miracle Network, a production company run by the Miracle Roottrees estate. It's quite bare bones, but has the following blurb. Witness the testimonies of the Miracle's Roottrees. Miracle Roottrees arrived so late in his mother's life that doctors swore he wouldn't survive his first year. His mother and father, Elias and Gwyneth, named him Miracle because they thought him impossible. He was younger than his brothers and sisters by over 14 years. So he must be the youngest in the 5 pieces picture then. The youngest looking one. With a birth that late, the final child of his generation was nearly torn apart by countless health problems. But still, with the power of God on his side, he persevered. He triumphed over these complications and even regained his sight to spread the healing word of the Almighty. 23 years later, Miracle Roottrees Jr. arrived and became the famous family's second vessel for the higher power. At 18, he unburdened himself from the Roottrees name and took his father's testimony to a whole new level. Via the power of television, Miracle Jr. spread the gospel across the entirety of New England. He has since left the life of glamour and glitz behind to reach those places that need it the most. The power of the Lord coming to a town near you, bro. Below the blurb is a flyer about the tour, which is in your evidence. This one? Whoa, so shiny. Witness the power of the Lord in the Summer 96 3 Generations of Miracles tour, featuring testimony from the world-famous Miracle Jr. with a special appearance from Miracle Roottrees in his 68th year on God's earth. Children, now welcome. Celebrate with your pastor, Miracle the Third, and his wife, Nicole. Nicole? I'm just gonna assume Smith for now. Because if I search Madsen, there's so many, and that's the Ernest one. So maybe the other Nicole, which is Smith. There's no other Smith, so that has to be her. Are they all preachers? All of them. So this one, wait. This is the young. Oh, let's go. Dum dum. Dum dum. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, Nicole Smith's right. Okay, we got that right. Okay. Is this him? That's him, right? And then this, where's his son here? Who's the wife though? I wonder. If Miracle, like the not junior one, showed up in No, not this picture. In this one, it says here that Miracle made it in since he's a 5-piece. So maybe that's him since he's older now. And the glasses seem to kind of fit in with his eye patch. Maybe. Don't know what the lives are yet. Okay. At least Nicole's right. Okay. So the remaining one is... Aha! Well. Okay, we got the Miracles and Elias Jr., architect. Booyah! And that was him. Okay. Let me grab a... Let's revisit the diary. The new diary opens with an explosive incident that happened the decade between the release and re-release of Lauren's diary. Elias Roottrees had died, and during the reading of his will, there was an audible gasp when a certain name was read aloud. Samantha Roottrees. Sam? Although Sam and her children were not meant to receive monetary inheritance, he had a stipulation that she retained the rights to run the farm and any and all decisions related to it. It was then that the scandal of secrets came out. None of the 5 pieces were surprised, but it was quite a shock to everyone else, including Sam. She had been told her parents died. Apparently Sam was the illegitimate daughter of Elias Jr. and Patricia Christensen. Christensen? Patsy? So, they had her... Could this be her? Samantha Roottrees? She runs the farm though. Does that make her a farmer? I'll just put farmer for now. It was then that the scandalous secrets came out. None of the 5 pieces were surprised. Okay. Patricia, the daughter of a local steel mogul, and Eli Jr. harbored a secret romance. At age 16, she became pregnant, and after the birth, her father refused to let her see Eli Jr. ever again. Her baby, Sam, was sent to the Roottrees. Elias hid her away with a local farmhand known as EC. Patricia was married off to a much older man and sent away. That was the end of that, almost. None of the next gens had ever met or heard of Patricia until she unexpectedly reappeared, now going by Patsy. After Patsy's husband died, she reunited with Eli Jr. and they finally married in their 50s. Damn. It gets pretty complicated. Lauren mentioning the wedding in her first diary without knowing Patsy's history. Eli Jr. had never taken another lover. Lauren, ever the romantic, quite appreciated this. When Patsy and Eli Jr. finally married, Elias decided Sam should have been a Roottrees in the first place. Even though she was not part of the Clansid Trust, he wanted to include her in family affairs. That was what led to Lauren's initial entry entitled Sam. Okay. This is a page of additional notes and context from the 1975 10-year anniversary re-release of Lauren's diary. It's a companion piece to the entry about Sam. Clearly, I did not know our true family history when I wrote this. I didn't even know Sam was a Roottrees. All of my doubts were ill-founded. She's a fine woman. Had she had the chance to grow up with us, Sam might have been the sister figure Gwyn never was. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her. Ernie and her children seem eager to help the family in their own ways. Ernie Jr. had been learning the day-to-day from Zach. Ernie and the kids. So, did she marry Ernie? Madsen. And then one of these has to be Ernie Jr. Hi Basil, welcome back to the stream. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Spill the tea. There's a lot of tea in this family tree. Quite a bit to work on. But so Ernest Madsen, Sam, their son must be Ernie Jr., who is married to Debbie and child Nicole. So since Debbie, the spouse, has a picture, maybe this is her. Deborah Bean. Ernest Jr. And he was the 4th president. Oh, not sure who's who yet. At least we know Deborah is this one, and this must be Nicole. He doesn't seem baby, so I'ma assume student, K to 12. For now. Okay. Okay. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her. It's been a long time since any real Rootree was as excited and interested in the actual candy as Ernie. As a bonus, Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother and her adopted grandfather. Gwyneth. Gwyneth? Is there a Gwyneth? Gwyneth Madsen. Inherited the green thumb, so was she also a farmer? What I'm most ashamed of is not figuring it all out myself. Sam's a spitting image of Patsy with her jet black hair and green eyes. She doesn't have thick glasses. Patsy did, of course, but I guess that skips a generation. Her children have that covered. So, Ernie Jr. and Gwyneth have glasses. Sam has... the Sam? Because she was in this picture. And she has the jet black hair and green eyes. And then... thank goodness, there's only 2 of them with glasses. So I'm assuming this is Ernie. And this is... Gwyneth. Hold on. This should be Ernie. Oh! Yay! Dum dum. Dum dum. Hey. I misheard that as Jack Black. I am Steve Nar. Okay, so he is here then. That's good. Gwyneth should be this one then. Not sure who she's married to though. Let's see. It's hard to explain the look on Pop's face when they read that the farm's operation would pass to Samantha Rootree for as long as she was willing. That kid in the middle is not a kid. Which one? This one? Hi Ren, welcome back to the stream. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm sleuthing this family tree puzzle. We've got quite a chunk of it. We're still missing some other branches. We're working on it. Okay. I got flashbacks to when Zach was made president. Mother reframed it a bit to calm him down. Sam wouldn't receive any candy money after all. She was essentially inheriting the right to rule over the peasants. Wow. For eternity. Pop warned us away from that farm for years. I never met EC in person, but Pop once referred to him as a confirmed bachelor, and I suspect that's why he kept us from there. Sam had to grow up in a house with him and his roommate, Mr. Miller. And they were roomies? Thanks to whoever gave me the membership. Yeah, it was Dragon. Please enjoy the badge and emotes. I'm not sure Sam will ever forgive Uncle Junior or Patsy for abandoning her to that life. If I were her, I would never forgive them either. But even so, she seems to blame more than just the 2 of them. She has no problems with us next gens, but she has a palpable hatred for the 5 Pieces and Elias and Gwyneth. This is a page of additional notes and context from... okay, about her son Clark. Reading this back, I get deja vu. As I write this addendum, Clark's gotten married again. No Rootree has ever remarried. Sure, I lost Jacob and Gwen divorced Wild Bill just before she had her second. Not even I can blame her for that. I've seen what he gets up to in Starlet. But neither of us ever took a second husband. With the way the world is moving, I guess it was inevitable someone in this family would remarry. I just wish it wasn't my son. I can only wonder if Clark's apparent disrespect for marriage is due to the lack of a real father. I did what I could, and Lord knows Eli C. stepped up and helped. More than I can say for Clancy or Edward. Eli C. practically raised Clark and Jim as brothers. Oh yeah, they did mention that. Whenever he could. Eli's marriage seems fine, and Jim's marriage seems solid as a rock. Pun intended. Is it because her name is Diamond? So who knows what causes these things. I suspect that he's marrying Jane to keep her from running out on the band. Without her, he'd be the third wheel, and I imagine they wouldn't last long as a trio. But still, I don't think a marriage on such a shaky foundation like that can last, and Lord knows I was right last time. Okay. The biggest complaint I got after publishing my diary was how similar many names were. And I get it, there are 4 Elis for Pete's sake, but that's how it is. Someone would say, I saw Eli in town, and I wouldn't know which one they meant. My brother, my uncle, my cousin. That's why they became Uncle Junior, or Miracles Eli, or Eli C. So Eli C is her brother. Miracles Eli must be the other one. Wait, Miracles Eli. So this guy's the other one? Elias M. We don't know much about him yet though. Our family's names were always unusual. Grandpa Elias was a believer in using the names of each generation to honor those in the last. His father and Grandma Gwyneth's father were named Edward and Clancy, so now you see where my pop's name came from. One thing that's always been consistent in our family though is that anytime someone's a junior, they're always the firstborn son. Okay, so let me check that actually. Yeah, so Miracle Jr., Clancy Jr., yeah, firstborn son. Okay, makes sense. Oh, Elias Jr. too, yeah, makes sense, because Gwendolyn was the oldest. But she's female. With the women, however, it all goes out the window. I think Gwendolyn got her name from some combination of Gwyneth and Carolyn, who was Elias's mother. Women's names tend to get all mixed up as the generations went on. I guess that's cause there's no female equivalent of junior. So, maybe if we're a bit lost about the names for spouses, we can maybe work backwards from the names of the children, and vice versa. So if you're reading my diary and confused, you're not alone. Even the government had problems. I remember once receiving a certified mail for an Edward Clancy Roottrees. I had to break the news they got my father's name backwards. Okay. A fun bonus. Apparently this is the first thing she could find that she ever wrote. She knows it was for a school assignment about anger, and she believes based on the teacher's name she must have been in the 3rd grade. She doesn't exactly remember the events spelled out here, but she does remember getting in trouble. I got angry when I met a new girl who I do not like. She was dirty and did not have a pretty dress. Me and my pop walked home in town and she hugged him. When I told her he was my pop, she pushed me. I got angry and yelled at her and Pop said to treat her nice. Then she said, "Your pop is my dad." She screamed it loud in my ear. She was lying to me, and lying is not a nice thing, so I pushed her too. Then I got in trouble. Then Pop took her away. He told me, "Don't worry, I'm glad she's gone." Seems like there's more to that. Wait, I wonder if we can deduce who James and Clark are here? I'm assuming it's one of these brown-haired guys with the mustache. Could this be Clark? Could this be James? If that's not them, I'm gonna switch it backwards. Miracle Jr.? It could be him. Wait, Elias... Wait. They have their names here. Eli M is here too, so maybe... Wait! Eli! It says right there. He's wearing like a work suit or something? I think he was mentioned somewhere. Not this one. Oh, Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother, even chimed in, riding his mini bike. Sam gave him some old tools, make the bike's engine faster. Could he be a mechanic? For now. Just for now until further notice. Okay. Well, we're done maybe with the miracle stuff. Okay. Maybe we can get these. So this is Chris Rafferty and his fiance, Lulu. Chris. Oh, oops. Right, it's a picture. So this must be Lulu. Luisa Garcia? Could he be in college? Student college? Yay! Dim, dim. We're over halfway there. 8. Locked in the following. Luisa Garcia. I guess the photo's right. Nice. Oh yeah. Ooh, even him. He's also a mechanic, so okay, cool. Wait, this kid has to be him because okay. I should have put that in. This is Chris Rafferty's cousin's art project and is said to include pictures of Davy. He swims for Yukon. Bethany's yearbook picture, Davy's younger sister, and Stephanie, who's an only child. Perhaps you could extract them using an application on your PC. This one? Restore the photo. Zoom with your mouse wheel or left right click. Like that. Whoa. This is so weird. Oh. It feels like those picture puzzles and then something's gonna jump scare you, but thankfully there's nothing like that. Or is there? Gotcha. Okay. Cousin rotated. Middle school. Oh wait. There we go. Kinda nice there's like these little picture puzzles amidst all the reading. Okay. Cousin school.jpg. Cousin sliced? Oh, wait, this is the swimmer guy. I guess. Well, there's a lot of leeway here, so hold on. Oh, how did his head get over there? Hold on. This one is torso. Oh, this goes here. Is that up here? Oh. No! Too close. Wait a minute. Okay, we got the torso part. Yes. Gotcha. Okay. Cousin swim.jpg. Okay. He must be the swimmer. For more information about this photo, okay. Yeah, we're good. So we have photos of some of the younger ones. Oh, this left side's pretty barren. Hold on. I think we've identified most people here. Could this be Zach? Because they were shading him about looking like he samples the product. Okay. I don't know. Could this be Angie then? Because everyone else is filled in. Angelica Morden, yes. Housewife? Question mark, question mark. Morden. Is that her? Maybe. Okay. Uh-huh. Yukon. Hold on. Maybe we can search... Oh, we didn't really search Guy Hudson yet here. Guy Hudson. Guy Hudson along with his twin sister. Oh yeah. They said Angie had twins, so one of these has to be Guy Hudson then. Since he has a twin. Are no strangers to the public when it comes to Roottrees snacks. They both appeared in the company's advertisements as children during the Boys and Girls Agree era. Now Guy is taking over the Roottrees company at the end of the year. Who would have known that one of those two adorable redheads... redheads! Guy credits his mother and father, Angie and Christopher, with... Angie and Christopher! Christopher Hudson? So the Hudsons down here, okay. With providing his fiery due, arguing over everything but chocolate would grow up to take over the whole company. Guy's uncle and current president Zachariah has decided to take an early retirement to focus on traveling the world with his wife. Zach was quoted as saying, "Now that our daughters have started families of their own, Clara Lansing? Okay. Clara and I plan to reflect on a life well lived. Guy is new to the business world, but he's family. We at Roottrees have faith in his innovative ideas, and he's eager to share them with the world. We like to think that boys and girls agree that he's ready to succeed." Let's search this thing. Oh! We find a site about successful ad campaigns. One of the ads listed is from the late 50s, Boys and Girls Agree. It's a series of television and magazine ads for Roottrees chocolate bars. The ad campaign is described as having the premise that boys and girls are often diametrically opposed, except when it comes to one thing. Both of them agree that Roottrees is their favorite. The first advertisement in the series was the most memorable due to the bright red hair of the boy and girl involved. One of the magazine advertisements has been added to your evidence. This one? Okay. This is an ad. Okay. Describe. Okay. So this one must be Guy, and this one must be his twin. Boys and girls agree. I wonder. Hudson. But he died though. It doesn't sound like he had kids. Maybe I can assume this one is him. But I don't know. It didn't really mention he had a kid. President? Oh! That's him! Hey. Okay, we got Clara and Chris and this little guy. His face. Oh, she's back.
On the phone, I said I owed you an explanation, but I can't reveal
almost
everything.
at 50. We're at 30
Not
now.
yet. I'm sure this all seems like deception for deception's sake, so I'll try to explain why. It's true, I'm working with lawyers, but not the candy company lawyers. My publisher's lawyers. I'm on the verge of releasing a book, and it's not kind to the Roottrees, especially Elias and the 5 Pieces. The truth often isn't. But with the plane crash, the publisher is rightfully worried it'll look like I'm making things up to exploit a tragedy. So they're doing their due diligence. That's why you're here. To be sure there's enough evidence for an expert to unearth the whole story. If I tell you the whole story now, we can't prove that. I hope you understand. That said, I can say that the work you're doing is very personal to me. To my story, one spot on the tree is more important than the rest. You've likely noticed it. It's locked for now. I'll return one final time, after you fill it in. Also, there are fewer Roottrees left. In a sense, that makes it easier. Use process of elimination, It's also harder to verify when you're right. You'll need 4 blood relatives before they lock from here on out.
Okay.
I don't have any more evidence for you, but trust your intuition. If something has a high number, it's not a mistake. You're getting closer and closer to the truth. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Oh boy. I need 4 now. Okay. The next time you return, they gave you a partial explanation. They hired you to help verify their personal account of the family's history. All that's left to do is finish the family tree and find what's in the locked space, which they said was personal to them. Ew. So, 49. Okay. But, before we get into that, let me go bathroom break real quick. I'm a BRB. Wait. There we go. I'm a BRB real quick. You guys can stare at, this side of the family tree for now. BRB. I'm back. I have returned. Alright. Give me a second. Question mark might be behind it all. Looks awfully suspicious if I say so myself. There's quite a few question marks. But, welcome back. Thank you. It feels like, perhaps, well, since she says this top secret would be important to her, she could be Sam or related. Hummer. But okay, let's start with, since we know this is Guy, that little kid, this must be his twin. Yeah. Hudson. Bonnie. I'm not sure what her job is right now, but hold on. Guy. Well, she was in an he was in an accident. I wonder if there's something about it here. Although the Butler County Times does not archive their obituaries, they did a front page story in 1982 about Guy Hudson and his wife, Patricia Jones, dying in a car accident. The story itself is surprisingly light on relevant details due to the recency of the accident. Police reported that the crash was caused by an unidentified driver who swerved in front of the Hudson's car, causing them to brake hard and veer off the interstate. Although Guy was a somewhat controversial president, foul play is not suspected. There were witnesses who reported that the vehicle which instigated the wreck was speeding, swerving between lanes, and cutting off other drivers as well for at least 5 or 6 minutes before the accident. One witness says it could have been any one of us who they eventually ran off the road. The aggressor fled after the accident. The police have few leads other than make and model. Guy had been the president of the Roottrees company for only 4 years, through an undoubtedly volatile period in the company's history. He and his wife had no children. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, we knew he was this guy, but... Okay. We don't know much. We haven't found much yet about Zach's side of the family yet, and also about Gwen's sons. I'm not sure who is who. But we do know it's like alliterative name, so wait. Robert and Ronald. Let me just put them here so that we don't have to choose them anymore. Well, Dragon! Thank you so much for the gift to member. Thank you. And welcome to Brootsy. Welcome to Hoshi member. Please enjoy member badge and emotes. Don't forget to say thank you to Dragon. Hi, honey. If you're here. Robert Roottrees. I saw in the picture. Where's the picture? When they were in France. This one. That he had a film school jacket, so not sure yet if he actually became a film guy or if he's still studying it. I don't know. We will see. Okay. Well, we found most of them except for this guy at the back. The only couple missing are... Well, we know this is Bonnie. These three. So they could be from Zach's side. For this one, everyone's accounted for, thankfully. We also have the unscrambled cousins. Okay, let's go down that rabbit hole. Yukon. Davy. Yukon? When you search for Yukon, you find out that it's the University of Connecticut, and that Davy Kellogg IV, is on their swim team, the Huskies. He also came in second in his most recent competition, but that doesn't seem relevant, so... Wait. Older brother and younger sister, right? No, it could be this one. Kellogg the fourth, and then this could be the other Kellogg. He also has the red hair. He's still in college. And then this could be... Wait. Where's his art project? Bethany's yearbook picture. The younger sister. So Bethany. Bethany Kellogg. Yearbook. I don't know if she's still in K-12. And we don't know. Stephanie is an only child. She could be that one or could be this one. So we don't know yet. Let's see. Let's see. Other loose ends. Oh yeah, this one. Stephanie Jones. Maybe we can search. We learned from an election results page that Stephanie Jones, a candidate for city council, won her campaign on election day about a month ago. Stephanie has a bare bones website for her campaign. It's simply a picture of her campaign mailer. Underneath it says, be sure to read the full article in the Butler County Times. Okay. Butler County Times. The most recent mention of Stephanie Jones is a small report detailing the election results from last month's election. Stephanie apparently won her election. You can also find the full version of the newspaper clipping on the back. Okay. Stephanie Jones, born Stephanie Landon? I don't think we have a Landon on here yet. But she could be over here then, somewhere. Stephanie Landon, until her marriage to local business owner Brian Jones, has lived in Butler County her whole life. Stephanie grew up in a home without a father. Without a father! With my mother and her partner, I essentially had an entirely female influence. Though she is a distant cousin of the Roottrees, her mother, Carolyn, a local artist who has appeared on the front page of the Butler County Times in the past, has often come out opposed to the corporation's policies regarding deforestation of indigenous trees to expand their maple farms. Unlike my mother, I'm not a fighter. I want to bring love to the world. So Carolyn. Maybe this is Stephanie. Because guardian adoption or otherwise, this could be her mom? Other mom? So, wait. Stephanie Landon. Politics? And she married Brian Jones with a Pikachu. Carolyn? Morden. Okay. Carolyn, a local artist, so maybe she'll show up. Wait, let me search her husband. A famous athlete who broke a pole vaulting record. Okay. Oh, if you're looking for a different Brian Jones, you might need to search a more local resource. Oh, I thought he was him. He was not in fact him. Brian Jones. There are many advertisements over the years, as well as a small article from 1995 about Jones Graphic and Print. The article is a piece about Brian Jones taking over his father's print company after 20 years. Brian seems to not have let it go to waste as a marketing opportunity during an interview portion. I've been in and out of that shop my whole life. My father taught me everything there is to know when it comes to getting the job done right and getting it done quick. We've been a printing staple of Butler County for years, and even the Butler County Times uses us for their coupon pages a few times a year. Thanks, by the way. But still, whether you're a new client or one of our regulars, nothing will change. Come on down for the best prices on bulk printing anywhere in the state of Pennsylvania, or search for us online. I designed the website myself. Okay. I feel like, though inherently Brian Jones is not really, related to the family tree directly, maybe his company has stuff. Ooh. According to his website, has existed in Butler County for some time. The website seems fancy. It even has frames. The website lists the address, hours, and few examples of the clients and type of work that was done for each. Okay, we know the Stephanie Jones campaign one. Roottrees Candy Company. Butler County Holiday Light Post Banners. Miracle Network Tour Flyers. Roottrees Motors. Maybe we can search that. You find a hit for Roottrees Motors on the Jones Graphic and Print website. Maybe it's in Butler County Times. The sound of printing is always so nice. There's an ad for Roottrees Motors in the paper. It seems Roottrees Motors used to be called Wilkins Motors. An ad for Roottrees Motors has run in every week's Butler County Times for many years, but recently has been changed to include a picture. 3 different unique versions of the ad have been added. This one? Wilkins Motors is now Roottrees Motors. We may have a new name, but we promise we're still the same family business. All that's different is we've joined a sweeter family. Funny noises? Need new oil? Come on down, we'll fix her up. Call the fixers at 555-FIX-HER-UP. Okay. So Wilkins joined Roottrees Motors, your local family mechanics servicing the entire Pittsburgh area. Oh! This is the latest ad. Hello? Tessa Roottrees! Our newest fixer learned all there is to know about cars from her Roottrees Motors parents. Could she be, the mechanic, Eli, the other, Eli M for mechanic? His daughter? Hold on. Says that the Roottrees Motors has been around for 50 years, a family business, and also that Tessa Roottrees, their newest fixer, learned all there is to know about cars from her Roottrees Motors parents. Could this be you? Wilkins. She's the only one. She must be the mom. Tessa? Tessa Roottrees. panic. Nice! Dim dim. Dim dim. Alright. Okay, we got those 4. Catherine's right, Brian Jones is right. Yes, Patricia Jones, Kellogg. That guy too. Booyah! Okay. Don't know who Miracle Jr.'s wife could have been, though. We don't have a clue about that yet. Ugh. Okay. Okay. Yes. Let's go back. Butler County School District. Butler Summer Theater. Posters and set contributions for Children of Eden. At the bottom it says, we also do web design. Come on in to get a quote today. Oh. Butler County. School District? Ah. Maybe not. Maybe this one, Butler Summer Theater? Butler Summer Theater has been around for at least 30 years. They perform plays and musicals with a cast and crew from in and around Butler County. There are hundreds of mentions of their performances, not just in reviews, but in many nearly identical advertisements for their box office and tickets, as well as yearly announcements of upcoming shows and seasons. They also tend to take out a full-page ad at the end of every season that says thank you and lists the names of the shows they performed with no additional information. As of this year, however, it mentions they have a website. Butler Summer Theater performs plays and musicals during the summer. Makes sense. As it is not summer currently, their website has a thank you message. Thank you for making our 1998 season such a success. Stay tuned for announcements about performances in 1999. The website lists the credits of a musical, which seems to be the final show they performed last season. There's a cast list, but none of the names seem relevant. Below the cast, it lists the crew, and 2 things stand out. Posters and additional set design elements by Jones Graphic and Print, and choreography by November Studios? November? Childish Print... Is she November? But if she's in the Free Spirits photo... Yeah, she must have grown up. This one's Carolyn. November. Could she be here? And because Lauren in her diary mentioned that one of her brothers did marry south of Pennsylvania, was it? So maybe that was the drama there. Maybe dancer. Don't know who the mom is though. At the moment, we'll figure it out. Let me put those there first. Okay. Let's search November Studios. A local dance school. They advertise lessons for ballet and jazz classes. Instead of November Studios, maybe they should have called this place No Mention Studios, because you don't find any information about it anywhere. Nice thought though. Well, okay. I guess we'll just go off of that for now. Carolyn Morden though. Carolyn is listed on a few art websites without much detail. She seems to be associated with a movement called PFLAG, an organization founded in the 70s. The acronym stands for Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. Oh, it checks out. Since Sam has 2 moms at the moment, right? Maybe Carolyn Morden? We find a cover story about local art installations, including one by Carolyn Morden. There isn't much about Carolyn as a person. This is mostly a listing of art in Butler County. She seems to get top billing. Accompanying the story, there is an image of Carolyn standing beside a large metal sculpture of a mermaid. It's captioned, Carolyn standing next to her sculpture, Atlantis Burden. Excuse me. This sculpture is one of the many works featured in her upcoming book, Self-Portrait, Art and the Beauty of Women. According to a quote further down, Atlantis' burden is meant to symbolize a society split by indecision over where women should be equals or something to protect. The picture on the front page has been added to your evidence. Okay, let me copy that. That her? Carolyn standing next to her sculpture Atlantis Burden. The sculpture is one of many works featured in her upcoming book, Self-Portrait, Art and the Beauty of Women. Okay, let me search the book. (1987). Oh, dedicated to Eloise and Stephanie. Maybe Eloise is... Oh, there's no last name. Okay. Mostly black and white pictures of Carolyn's art, the centerpiece is a series of full-color nude self-portraits at different ages, stretching from 25 to 30. They certainly have not been added to your evidence. In the intro, Carolyn talks about influences. She was one of the youngest in her generation. In her late teens, she felt betrayed when her sister Gwendolyn and cousin Bonnie gave up on dreams to settle for boring men. So, housewife? And Gwendolyn Morden, also housewife, I guess. She's an artist. We have not sure if she could be this one. Oh! She is! Okay. Hey. It's also pretty cool. You can kind of tell from what era the picture is depending on the quality and coloring of it. So that must be her. Okay. She especially dislikes her brother-in-law, Dr. Wilson? Dr. Wilson. Yeah, we're almost there. Dr. Wilson, who she calls completely bogus. Their marriages led her to double down on her passions, art and the environment. She even married a man who was the opposite of boring, which was an overcorrection. Well, they're not together anymore. She comes out strongly against the Roottrees company's effect on the local environment and rues how she was not able to convince her father, Zach, to make changes to policy. She also explains that her marriage to Mark led to the most volatile moments in her life, all negative, and that the only good thing he ever gave her was a daughter. Leaving them all behind for good has pushed her to pursue her true loves, art and the beauty of women. Mark? Landon. Yeah, Stephanie Landon. Makes sense. Okay. So Miss Dr. Wilson? Oh! Dr. Stephen Wilson is a pediatrician who practices north of Pittsburgh. Although there are a lot of Stephen Wilsons and Dr. Wilson, this apparently found a way to game the search results as he pops to the top every time. His website claims that he's the pediatrician to the stars. The only evidence for this is that he apparently was the doctor to the Roottrees sisters. There's a picture of him on his website as well as a picture of his 3 children. The 3 of them look as though their photographer was holding them hostage. Regardless, the photos have been added to your evidence. There's also a quote that, although credited to his child Jason, you suspect might not have been written by a 10-year-old. My dad is the best dad in the entire world, and he treats every patient with world-class care. He will treat your children like he would me, my big brother, or my sister. So Jason's the middle one. Hold on, let me find that. Dr. Wilson. Stephen Wilson. I see. These are his kids. Taken 2 years ago in 1996. Okay. Stephen Wilson. That's him. This one must be Jason. That's not a suspicious sentence from the kid. Totally not just written by someone completely different. K to 12. This must be Jason. This must be his older brother. Maybe student college. Who else are Wilson? Wilson Jem, Wilson Zach. So this must be Jem Wilson? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Me, my big brother, or my sister. She looks older. Never mind. Jason should be down here. Jason. Student. Yeah. I think that's right. Yeah, very normal. Okay, we've got... Okay, I think we're good with the left... Oh, wait. I can put that there now. Since we're out of only childs, that means this one must be the other cousin. Let me check his project. Stephanie Cattrall. So this must be Cattrall. Sam. Student. Yeah! Phew, I think we're done with the left side. We have 9 left. Alright. Cattrall Sam. Wilson Stephen. I mean Stephen Wilson. Mark Landon. That guy. That lady. That girl. Booyah! Look at that. All clean. I think we're also all clear in here. Except for these spouses. We'll figure it out. Okay, there's still some stuff about Gwyn and her sons. Maybe if I search up her sons in Starlet, maybe? Wait, let me check. Ronald Roottrees. Oh, Robert Roottrees? How about Starlet? Ronald Roottrees. No? Robert? Okay, hold on. Maybe we need to go back to Gwyn's stuff. Or... Hold on. There's still 6 clues from this. I guess we can go down the rabbit hole here. TMS and Brother Trouble. Maybe Brother Trouble? Brother Trouble was a 1989 sitcom about two 16-year-old brothers the same age, one adopted, played by Tommy Mark Sheridan and Dustin Christopher Baker. Their single mother, played by stand-up Penelope Tessa Green, often had to navigate her job as a magazine columnist, as well as the troubles that come with raising 2 boys who were extremely competitive in sports, academics, and even romantic pursuit of their next-door neighbor, Roxy. The showrunner was a small-screen director, Ron Roottrees. Would that be director? The show had strong ratings throughout the entirety of season 1, rocketing both Sheridan and Baker to instant stardom, mostly amongst the teenage girl demographic. However, it was cancelled in 1991 midway through the season due to a significant drop in ratings. Ron Roottrees is a small screen director and the head of RR Productions. RR? He directed episodes of a few other shows before showrunning and creating a 1-season hit, Brother Trouble. The show was cancelled partway through season 2. Defunct production company responsible for Brother Trouble. You find a comment on a Usenet board stating that Brother Trouble ended up being an ironic name considering the rumors about RR Productions, Ron and Robbie Roottrees. There's not much relevant information about Robbie Roottrees. In a comment thread on a message board about television cliches, you find a thread called "Why Was Brother Trouble Cancelled?" One user speculates, "I think it's because the writing went really downhill in season 2. They actually had an episode where Roxy was addicted to sniffing markers." Another person replied, maybe it's due to the rumor about Robbie Roottrees in Silver Screen magazine. There's a link to some kind of article, but it seems to be dead. Did you mean Silver Screen magazine? Oh! Silver Screen magazine was a Hollywood insiders magazine focusing less on actors and actresses and more about the nitty-gritty of writing, directing, costuming, set design, film promotion, and other elements of filmmaking. It ran from 1983 to 1993. It was bought by a bigger, more recognizable magazine a few years ago, and the website now redirects to the new magazine. Okay, how about Ron Roottrees? There's an article about Ron Roottrees from 1984 entitled "Don't Blame Nepotism, He Gets Results." After finding some small screen success, first as the director for many soap opera episodes and then stepping in as the showrunner to turn around a few struggling productions, Ron has decided to start his own television production company. Ron was born in the US but grew up in Paris with his once famous mother and his brother Robbie. He gobbled up American cinema whenever he could, and when he was old enough, returned to Hollywood to attend film school. So, that must be him, since he was wearing the film school jacket. He brings a special kind of charisma and an eye for unusual shots, particularly when it comes to comedy. Those he's worked with have gone on record saying he's an attentive director who can work with actors to make sure the timing of a joke lands perfectly. Ron plans to pitch new shows to major television studios as soon as 1986. Until then, he plans to find the right project. He has occasionally called upon his younger brother for script punch-ups and has thought about bringing him into the fold. So, is he also... is he a screenwriter? Maybe. Robbie? What's the T? A Small Rumors article from 1992 claims that self-taught television screenwriter Robbie Roottrees was allegedly tried and convicted under the name Robert in the French court of law. It seems he, again allegedly, embezzled from the company RR Productions to fuel a gambling habit. Oh no. He gotcha. That left him hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. He then fled to Paris where he grew up. And then Silver Screen continues to insist this is all very much allegedly, assaulted an officer who came to question him. The article's author says they were unable to get a statement from French authorities, but he received information from an anonymous source and were able to confirm through public record that there was a trial involving a Robert Roottrees around the time that Brother Trouble was cancelled. Okay. But RR Productions. Oh, okay. The same one. Man. Gamba. So, how do I... wait. Do we know anything about... Ron's... wife and children? Hold on. Robbie Roottrees, our Productions... Brother Trouble? Who's Dustin Christopher Baker? We know Tommy Mark Sheridan is TMS. Raina Roottrees' husband. Dustin Christopher Baker is often abbreviated DCB by his teenage fans. Since leaving Brother Trouble, he has appeared in a few straight-to-VHS movies that adapt classic literature to a family audience with minor success. The most popular of which was Jane Eyre, which reimagined the Charlotte Brontë novel as a high school romance with a focus on skateboarding. He doesn't appear to be associated with the Roottrees. Jane Eyre, though. Oh, never mind. What about... oops. Penelope Tessa Green? Pikachu! Penelope Tessa Green is a retired comedian. There's a result for the Laugh Lounge, a club in Reno that claims Penelope got her stand-up start and first did her famously raunchy breast milk cheese routine in the 80s, before she was a TV star on Brother Trouble. The site claims she retired for the birth of her first child, but still makes yearly appearances for fundraisers, doing more family-friendly material. You find a picture labeled Joko Lantern 1997, as well as a different picture labeled Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets 1994. Did she marry him? Because they're the only ones left. And she has a picture, so maybe she did marry... oh, Jack. She did marry, maybe she did marry Ronald. Let me search her though. On Starlet? No. Silver Screen? No. Teen Blast? Mentioned in a few articles about Brother Trouble, the show's stars played her sons. Penelope's character was not really who teenage girls cared about. As a result, there's very little gossip surrounding her. Okay. Well, I wonder. It has to be her then. Penelope Tessa Green. This son seems older. What's the son's name? Jack-o'-lantern. Wait, what's the name of the other son? Jack. Okay, Jack. Roottrees. Occupation. Student, K to 12. Christina. Occupation, baby. Let's go. Occupation, baby. There's one last one. Penelope Tessa Green, we got that. Booyah. It's open.
To my genealogy genie. If you're reading this, it means you've locked in 49 blood relatives. Congratulations!
Yay.
I knew you could do it. There are 2 more entries on the family tree I'd like you to consider. These last 2 are optional. You can summon me whenever you wish. However, this will end your search and reveal the truth. So make sure you're ready.
Okay, I think we can try to fill in the... Who is EC Farmhand? Yeah, let's go! Hi, Joe Mama! Welcome back to the stream. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. There's like four spouses we haven't figured out yet. But if we're going to go by the diary thing about names, it's that the names get mixed up, I guess, through the generations. So there's Edith. Oh yeah, wait a minute. There was something about Edith. His wife Edith in... Hold on. Miracle Jr. His wife Edith. So Edith Jacobson. Okay, that's one down. There's Helen Lennon, Joan Monroe, and April Quaritch. April? Could that be related to November? April, November? James? Maybe Joan Monroe? Joan? James? Joan? Helen Lennon. Well, let's see if that's it. And then... Okay. So, Sam was raised by farmhand EC. And this spouse. Excuse me. I think it was mentioned in this diary entry. Sam working alongside the farmhands EC and John. There was another one also. Wait. Sam had to grow up in a... EC! Confirmed bachelor had to grow up in a house with him and his roommate, Mr. Miller. John Miller? They were gay! Hold on. EC. We only have one picture left, so this has to be him. John Miller. EC. Wait a minute. There was one where... In the names, I remember once receiving certified mail for an Edward Clancy Roottrees, and she thought... EC? She thought that it was her father's name backwards, but maybe that's EC. Oops. Edward Clancy Roottrees. Hold on. There's one other thing that I wanna check before we lock it in. Because this was from Sweet History of Candy Volume 2. Is there a volume 1? Out of curiosity. Volume 1 by Charles Lee. 1984. This is a book about all things candy. It starts with historical accounts dating back to the ancient Egyptians and chronicles candy through the year 1924. It includes some print advertisements from companies you've heard of, including an extremely early newspaper ad for 5 pieces that Charles Lee included due to a major misprint. This one? 5 magical flavors in every box. G is for grape, E is for elderberry, EC for egg cream, D cinnamon extract, M is for melon. This was before Miracle. 2 years after the debut of the 5 pieces, the author included it because of the spelling error on the word available. Oh, available near the bottom. It states that the flavors are inspired by their children, and the order is G for Gwendolyn, elderberry for Elias Jr., egg cream for EC, CE for Clancy Edward. Was it Clancy Edward? Yeah. And melon for Margaret. So that must be him. But first, here's the final optional entries you found. Yay! 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 We did it! Family tree complete! Phew! That was everybody, booyah. I think that's also all the pictures. Oh!
So, you thought EC was Edward Clancy Roottree?
Yes.
And his partner was John Miller?
Yes.
That's exactly what I needed to hear. I'm Sam Madsen, though you
It's her!
Samantha Roottree. Yep, I got old. The only picture you have of me is from 40 years ago.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
My book tells the truth about Elias, the 5 pieces, and my parents. Not my biological parents, Elias Jr. and Patsy. My fathers. Edward Clancy Roottree and John Miller.
Ah, yes.
By now, you've either read Lauren's diaries, or you're just an incredible guesser.
Oh, we did read the diaries.
Lauren was right. I hated the 5 pieces.
Ooh.
She just didn't know my full
excerpts.
reasoning. My father, Edward Clancy, was a great man. But his identical twin, Clancy,
Twins!
and his father, Elias, were not.
Maybe that's why, there was that entry in the diary where she, as a child, well, not she, Lauren as a child, met a girl who thought her dad was her dad.
At age 16, my father was caught kissing a farmhand. Back then, they
Scandalous.
wouldn't even acknowledge gay people existed. Having one in the family was unthinkable. The same year, I was born. A bastard granddaughter. 2 stains on Elias's perfect family. He decided to fix both. They tried to erase Edward Clancy. They even removed his 5 pieces
Ads.
flavor. His name was deemed a dirty word. He became EC.
Poor Edward Clancy.
We were sent to the farm, and the 5 pieces did their best to keep the next generation away, to isolate me from family. But Elias couldn't erase us from existence. Laura never realized I was the little girl from her diary. Who could blame me for being so confused that day? Her father was an exact copy of mine, except without the beard.
They were twins.
And while the 5 pieces celebrated a new factory, farmhands did the real work. It's a fluke there's a picture of my father at all. There he is in the background. The 6th 5-piece.
He ended up in the 5-piece picture anyways.
Patsy returned, and things got complicated for Elias. She fought for my freedom from a life
I
she
don't know
deemed
about this one.
unworthy.
Was it that such beauty was ripped from its rightful fate and were sent to live in possession of your brother's twisted twin, an outcast forced to a life of labor under a wicked relative? Patricia Christensen's Steamy Correspondence by Tina Angelina. Okay, I don't know how we're supposed to get to this book.
Elias relented, so long as I never learned the truth or receive inheritance. They knew I'd help my father. At Elias's will reading, I learned part of the truth. The rest I learned at home.
Oh yeah,
I
she
began
was
to
told
hate the 5 pieces.
her parents died.
My father made me stay silent. He was worried history would repeat, and that his grandchildren would become outcasts. His fears weren't unfounded. As you know, my son Ernie died a few years ago. He had trained to take over as president. But due to family politics, or perhaps hubris, it went to Guy. A real Roottrie. He nearly ruined the company.
Yeah.
When Ernie took over,
Caviar?
he saved the operation. Over 13 years, he made the family billions.
Damn!
Ernie earned about $36.
Because he wasn't part of the trust. Known as a bit eccentric and reclusive, opting to forego the typical luxuries of the average Roottrie. Oh yeah, I did mention that.
They got by on Debbie's salary, but when he fell ill, he couldn't pay his medical bills. His death was my tipping point.
Because at that point, I guess they weren't like her dad and her real dad and mom didn't get remarried yet.
Originally, my book was meant to expose Elias's hypocrisy. Until I started to look into the other dirty laundry.
The RR.
Ron tried to have Robbie removed from the trust, but couldn't. Robbie was a blood relative, even out of wedlock. That sounded familiar. The Clancid Trust that Elias established was designed to secure his family's future. His entire family's future. He couldn't write exceptions in without the whole thing falling apart.
Sounds messy.
My book can definitively prove that Elias was not the paragon of virtue he's heralded as, and that my daughter and granddaughters are just as much family, at least in the eyes of the Trust,
Yay.
as anyone else. The Clancid Trust will secure their future. They can decide what to do with their shares. But I'm old, and I'm not in it for the money. The truth has been eating away at me for years. But now, I can set the record straight. Thanks to you.
Yay!
As someone who enjoys searching for the truth, you might understand the power it has. Whitewashing the past to protect the status quo can lead to repercussions in the present and future. So thank you. You knocked it out of the park. With your expert work, the truth will come to light. And when it does, my share of the Clancid Trust is yours.
Ooh!
Like I said at the beginning, set for life.
Sounds big.
Looking at the family tree on your wall, now with my father's, everything finally feels complete.
Let's go.
Unless a whole lot more Roottrees somehow appear from thin air.
Ahem.
This is the last time I'll come knocking. Thanks again, and so long.
There is a reason why there's a Roottrie mania. The part 2 of it. Hi, Theo. Oh, it's the song. Hi, Theo. Welcome back to the stream. Thanks to your hard work, Sam Madsen's book was published. It received mixed reviews. Life went on and a new president took over the company. The Roottrie family faded from the news cycle. And then everything changed. There's another mystery to solve. Roottrie Mania is now unlocked as a new game. I'm a secret Roottrie. Well, that was... Yes, it was rolling. I guess, yes, that was the first part, basically, of the game, which I think stands on its own quite well. I hope you guys enjoyed. There's another part called Roottrie Mania, which is find out what happens to the infamous family in a whole new mystery. But I don't know how many people want to see that. But it was nice solving the family tree again. Maybe Roottrie Mania could be some other time if people like it. But yeah, I wanted to replay because yeah, I finished it. I finished the first part. And Wade says, no worries, it's okay. Give me a second. That was... The Roottrees are dead. Well, not all of them. Not all of them are dead. But, we did find out who were still alive and still in line for inheritance, I guess. I really like the going down internet rabbit holes though. Pretty fun. Researching about the gossip, the tea. Thank you, a stream full of mysteries. Oh, thank you for watching. Thank you. And I appreciate everybody who lurked. And I hope you guys enjoyed the root tree tea as much as I did. So maybe someday we will root tree mania, but we'll see. But for now, it is time. That was Angry Stream. Thank you for watching. Thank you. That was Roottrees Are Dead. And tomorrow we'll be continuing Sekiro. And I'm gonna try to beat up the Engi Kratos ape. So if you guys are excited for that, please stay tuned. In the meantime, hope you guys had fun. Hope you guys have a good day, night, morning, evening, afternoon. Hope you had a good time. Let me see. Equal streaming, so if you guys have some time to say hi, please do so. But wait, let me on the YouTube side and the Twitch side. It seems he will, yes, that is our our raid message. He is streaming on Twitch as well, so can go say hi wherever you want. But yeah, if you guys hope you guys had fun. Please take care, stay safe, stay healthy. And again, if you have time to say hi, please do so. But if you need to go, it's totally okay. Yeah, please take care. Bye bye. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you, Mud. Hope you're doing well.